Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
'Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. There's still time. The AFTN Soccer Show, broadcasting on CITR Radio 101.9 FM. I'm Michael McCall.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenhammer.
And we're back with another packed podcast. Yep, we didn't bring out a main show last week. I wanted to get back to kind of doing the Sunday record, so it's kind of out on the Monday, and then we can have the most recent one air on the radio on Wednesday. So we brought the extra one out instead, which, thank you to all our subscribers as always to our extra podcasts. A great 80-minute show as well, Zach, looking back at the Houston, not back at the Houston game, back at the Houston game.
Yeah.
These games are all meshing into one now. Back at the Houston game and back at the Seattle game. So we won't talk too much about those in this show, but we will talk about the latest Whitecaps game, a 5-star performance against FC Dallas at BC Place on Saturday evening. We'll cover that in the first part of the show. Talk more MLS and kind of some news and the big stories coming out of the league this week, including the new proposed playoff format. Wow. That'll come up in part 2. We haven't talked about this, so
I saw your post, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious what you're going to make of this. A couple of interviews to bring you in part 3 with 2 new Whitecaps, Kwasi Poku and Sebastian Ramirez. And then we'll talk the latest FIFA shenanigans in part 4. It's the gift that keeps giving, the whole Infantino thing right now.
Oh my.
I don't know if you saw, I don't think I shared it with you. Sky News basically doorstepped him.
Yeah.
And he just kept making bald jokes because the interviewer was bald.
I haven't watched it, but I've seen it posted.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'll see you at the hairdressers. And the guy afterwards is like, he just kept making bald jokes. I've heard those my whole life. Well, maybe not his whole life, but I've heard those a lot. It's like, it just rubs off me now. And I was like, yeah, because you've got a bald head. It's like, that's how water works with you.
So the extra podcast, it was excellent. And I listened to it because I wasn't on it. So I wanted to know what you were talking about.
There's another listener.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the plan. Get to double digits.
Double digits. Oh my. No, it was good. It was really good.
I'll talk about a little bit from the extra podcast at the end of this intro that caused a bit of a hullabaloo, obviously, on Friday.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. We'll come to that in a sec. We've got to start by talking about the weather. Were you hit by the thunderstorms last night?
No. I mean, when I was leaving the stadium, Kirk was like, "Is that lightning?"
Yeah.
Then it came again. We're like, "That's some crazy lightning."
Oh.
Actually, can I read this? This is crazy. I gotta. Hopefully, it's still here. Hopefully, I can find it quickly. My wife's cousin, she was on a flight, and I don't know if it was either to the island or maybe to her in-laws on the island, or more likely to her parents up in northern BC. Basically, the first slide was something like, not allowed to exit the plane, but told we'll be waiting 2 hours. I have my 3 infants with me.
Oh.
Then it's 2 hours has come and gone. Still here with no updates of when we can get off. And then it's like our kids like passed out on the plane. 5 hours and counting.
Oh, wow.
And then it's a timestamp, 4:33 a.m. Finally made it home, but without our luggage. And then like the melting smiley face emoji. Kids were such troopers.
Oh, my. I mean, my dog Annie was terrified. She was hiding under the desk that we're currently recording this podcast on. She's in the background, all curled up, nice and safe tonight. Yeah, she did not like it. The flashes, there was so many, and it was just torrential here. It was absolutely crazy. I do enjoy a good thunderstorm, and I think we did need it as well.
Yeah.
Apart from any maybe fires that it might have started along the way as well. But yeah, it was wild last night. I did wonder if you got caught in it driving home or anything.
No, I was fine driving home. FC Dallas.
Yes.
By it too.
Yeah, they stayed overnight and then were delayed and eventually got home many hours later.
Yeah.
What a wonderful fun weekend that was for them.
Yeah, exactly. It does not help make it for a better trip.
Yeah. But no, that was a fun. I'm glad it happened after I got home from the game and I wasn't like walking over the Canby Bridge and getting caught in it. That would have been absolute hell.
Nightmare.
But yeah. You're all caught up in Australian traitors, I take it?
Yeah, I love that part of the show. Like, you know how busy Zach is. You know how you could tell he's busy. He hasn't watched Australian Traitors or Ted Lasso.
I've watched Ted Lasso now as well.
Yeah, I've watched all of that now. I've caught up.
It
is.
I like the new coach. She's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I forget her name already, but like she's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. But so far, it's been fun.
Yeah, and Roy Kent is coming to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Not as a coach for the Whitecaps, although I would welcome him here.
Yeah.
I'd like him and Vanny together as a coaching team. I think that would work well.
I don't know. Did you see? Speaking of Vanny, you saw that? Or I told you about it, the post.
Oh, I'd already seen it. He was dropping f-bombs in his post game.
No, not that one.
Oh, not that one.
I remember that one. No, it was it was something, I can't remember the exact wording, but basically it was like Vanny Sartini's revenge of British Columbia or whatever. All 5 of his Halifax Wanderers victories this year have been against Vancouver FC and Pacific FC. Those are the only teams he's beaten.
I mean, to be fair, everyone beats Pacific FC right now.
It's true. And yes, 3-1-0 victories against Vancouver FC.
Wow. Yeah, after us bigging up Vancouver FC in the last show, they've lost 2 straight.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to saying they're terrible again. Maybe they'll turn it around. But yeah, fun times.
And Australian Traitors.
Oh, Australian Traitors. Yes, let's get talking about that.
It's very good.
It is.
It is
6 episodes down. The next one will be out Monday. So for me, I think you might get it Tuesday.
I think there's we're obviously not going to spoil anything.
No.
I think there's parts of that episode 6. There's some gameplay that happens in that episode. I don't think I've ever seen before in Traitors ever. It's
fantastic. It's kind of, if I was in it, I'd love to play it like how that person has played it. But it's a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah. If you're into Traitors, you need to watch this season of it. It is so far, after 6 episodes, it is enthralling.
Yeah. I'd said to Zach, he hadn't watched, I went, no spoilers for you, but when you watch the end of episode 5 and it says next time, you're going to be like, oh, I can't wait for episode 6. And then when they do next time for episode 6, which is tomorrow's episode, it's like, oh, this is going to be a good one. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's I hope the rest of the season is as good as it's been so far, but
it's all when it gets down to the final 4 or 5, sometimes you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks the drama out of it, but yeah.
And this despite what you said about the things at the beginning of the season where you're like, it tends to be the same old, missions and whatever.
Well, they did have the same mission again with the building of the
It's the same mission, but the gameplay has made this show just like and not just. And actually, to be fair, also again, not to spoil anything, but that one mission that is a common mission where they have all the wooden body parts down the hill. The approach that these people took to this one, superb, superb.
Well,
all suggested because of one person.
Yes and no. I thought they were foolish because they hadn't realised they needed to go down the bottom, so they wasted too much energy at the top of the hill, getting the bits closest to them.
Yeah, but that dude who went to the bottom, man, he killed it for them.
Oh, he was superb, yeah.
Yeah.
See, everyone's going to be like, oh, who are they talking about? I've got to watch this now. It's on Crave.
Crave, yeah.
Check it out. It really is a good season of it. But let's get talking football now. And before we get into talking about the Dallas game, just want to address the shit storm, shit show, whatever you wanted. It's something that had shit in it anyway, that took place on Friday afternoon. So for the subscribers to the Extra Podcast, you'll know at the end of that, I was just talking in general, going on about the summer transfers and how a little bit disappointed in Axel not having players signed that were ready to go now. But I mentioned he's been really busy dealing with the stadium stuff and all the other things and ownership. And then for about maybe 15, 20 seconds said that sources had told me that basically the deal for the Whitecaps to operate BC Place was going to get done. But then I said, but Axel has denied this. So the first part of that went everywhere, ignoring the fact that I said Axel had denied this. And I would like to point out, I didn't put this out on social because it was just a throwaway comment. And 2 people had got in touch with me saying, oh, are you going to put this on the socials? And I was like, well, no, because Axel's denied it, so I'm not really sure what the situation is. And then it went out on socials from subscribers. First of all, what I want to say is, yep, it looks like my source was wrong. My main source is the same source that told me that the Whitecaps had put the bid in to operate BC Place, which was accurate. So I had no reason to doubt that source. And then another source came forward that told me that may also have got it from the same first source that I did. So I was like, okay, it looks like this is what is happening. That source now feels they have jumped the gun, obviously. But that is where that came from. I will say I'll try and do better and not put things out that's going to get the fan base in a tizzy like that, because I think when I do little throwaway things like that, sometimes I forget maybe folks' livelihoods are on the line, like Pavco staff, Whitecap staff. But what I will say is our track record is fairly impeccable. We are not an outlet that likes to put rumours out there without us having it confirmed. We spoke about like the BC Place, wanting to operate it. That was correct. The Ryan Gold thing years ago, we had that. That was correct. A few other things along the way as well. Martin Rennie's sacking, going all the way back. I don't like putting things out there until I'm very, very confident, because it just creates this kind of shit show. So from my side, apologies for everyone getting worked up. I think the positive from it, though, is it just shows how passionate this fan base is just now. Unfortunately, they're all just waiting for news. And there's not been news, and folk are getting impatient and twitchy, so they're trying to just go on anything. And hopefully we will get a resolution soon. I am still very confident that a deal will get done. But it is not signed, sealed and delivered yet. There's a couple of issues that the club are needing some clarity on. So we'll see how things go. I also want to stress as well that the information I've been getting has not been coming from the Whitecaps side of things.
Yeah, it's not like a leak within the Whitecaps. Yeah.
In case anyone from the government is listening to this and thinking that the Whitecaps are the people that's been telling me stuff, or if anyone from the Whitecaps is listening for this and thinking, hey, we need to find out where Michael's getting this stuff. So it's not coming from that side. I hope something gets done soon, because the fans are twitchy, understandably. Yeah. Tell you what lightened the mood. Whitecaps 5, Dallas 0. What time is it? It's 5 past 0.
Poor Jonathan, man.
Yeah, they need to get Kalodi back in goals, I think. He had a good run last year, but they brought Sirwa in. And to be fair, Sirwa's had a great run of things just now. But we were saying during the game, I put it in my match report. You did it when you spoke to Dallas's head coach, Eric Quill, afterwards, which we'll bring you in the next part. The Whitecaps run a form. They've been creating all these chances. Game after game after game. They've been the better team. The midweek game against Houston one shot on target, atrocious.
Yeah.
From all the build-up play and the crosses and everything. Some team was going to get a doing, as we say in Scotland. And unfortunately for Dallas, that was the team that got it. And I would say, well, first of all, that was a Whitecaps team that looked like the Whitecaps team of old. And by old, I mean the first half of the season.
Or like last year, yeah.
Or last year, yeah. I think, for me, it was probably the most, as close to a complete, perfect half of football as you're going to get. There's a couple of little scares along the way, but that was just, I mean, it was a brutal first half for Dallas, and it was just impeccable, sublime stuff from the Caps.
There was that one passing move that didn't come off or was offside.
Oh, yes.
If that one had gone in, it would have been like
I think it was just eluded White in the end.
Yeah. For me, the Ocampo goal is up there for goal of the year, I think. It's like a team goal.
Because like when we were watching that, I was like, how on earth did that go in?
Deft header, man.
I mean, you're looking at him go up to get it, and you're like, oh, where's that gone? Oh, it's in the net. How? And then I went home, I watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, from that angle, it doesn't look as impossible as the angle that we had.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this was the Whitecaps team that's loved by the fans and feared by the rest of the league. Are they back? I mean, we thought that after Seattle, although they weren't great in Seattle.
Yeah, the performance was not as resounding as the result maybe felt.
No, and not every team has a Nuhu.
Yeah, man of the match.
Yes,
by far.
Always the Whitecaps man of the match.
Because he caused both goals, got a booking, injured a player. I mean, what else?
A sending off would have been the perfect
sending off would have been
for
great.
dissent or something,
or the foul that caused the concussion. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully, Chiefin will be back for next week. So
yeah, honestly, Michael, I thought not to this level, not to this level of dominance, but I thought this is what we were going to see on Wednesday. I thought this was going to. I thought this was going to happen on Wednesday, even though obviously Houston came in on a great run, has been so great defensively. I thought that would be like a good 3-0, 3-1 kind of game. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. And it was the most frustrating thing about it, as you said, was they did not create the clear-cut chances that they typically do, even when they don't maybe get the results that they want or whatever. But yeah, this game against Dallas they were on fire. Yeah. And I think, I mean, there's lots we could say about the game. I think for one thing is, hopefully, and maybe to this point anyways, we've now seen the best of what Thomas Miller and Ryan Gold can be together when you have Brian White in front and you have Sabi with his pace, his dynamic dribbling, his ability to shoot, all mixed together. That front four, the dynamism, the fluidity that can be there, the football IQ that they kind of all possessed. Mm-hmm. I think it's also, we've talked a little bit about maybe Thomas Muller hasn't been as maybe as good as he was for parts of last year. Yeah,
like he didn't have a great game against Dallas. He got an assist, but like if you look at all the players that stood out, he's way down the list of the players, and yet they put in that performance.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is I think when he's playing with these players, he has the ability. He does, not that he won't press, he won't do all these, the things that help the team, but he has the ability to just find space and then make a pass.
But he'll also attract attention.
Oh, absolutely.
And that then leaves the space for the others, because you can either be like, okay, he's not been playing great, but we need to give him attention. Or, he's not been playing great, let's leave him. Oh, this is the game, he's sublime and gets a hat-trick. So that's just what Thomas Muller brings to this team. Yeah.
Plus that whole, like, the leadership factor, all those other things.
Oh, yes. Well, shouting at players for misplaced passes when you're 5 goals up in the second half. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That is just a guy that holds everyone to the highest standard at every single occasion. No matter how many goals you've got, it's like, that was not the move to make.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn.
And I mean, that's who he is, and that's the football environment he grew up in and has played most of his career in, right?
Yeah.
So.
That's why like, as much as I'm not a big Bayern fan, just because I don't like teams that win everything all the time, no matter what league it is. To me, it's just boring. Yes, it does show that they're a great team. And because of that, if you get a player from one of those teams, the mentality that you bring into your squad from that, it's like we're going to chat to Kwasi Poku in part 3. And one of the things that we touch upon is he's used to winning because he's been with a Forge team in the CPL. They win. So you come in with a winning mentality. Different level, yeah, and obviously Bayern's a different level to the Whitecaps as well. But that's what you want. You want your players that have that, oh, we only won 1-0 in this game. We should have been winning by more. I'm disappointed. I love that.
But yeah, I think people left the stadium just being like, okay, this is the best front four that the Whitecaps have.
Well, I did put that to Jesper, to which his response was, I don't care a jot about that.
But I think people do. Like, I think,
yes.
I mean, it's a good answer from him because it also then protects your players or doesn't put anyone's morale out of whack. But no, I mean, it is this. If everyone's fit, that's the front four that should be playing.
Oh, absolutely. And you're seeing Sabi now that's really starting to look like the Sabi of old.
Well, the other thing, which I think
last year.
Yeah, the other thing that we talked about too is I think this also. I think you said this to me in the press box. This also just takes a huge amount of stress off of Oliver Larraz in the middle of the park.
Yes.
He's allowed to play more simple. He's allowed to find the space at the right time. Like he's allowed to read the game a little bit easier, I think. And
I touched upon this in the extra podcast. In some ways, it's a bit unfair on Larraz because folk are expecting him to be the next Berhalter. And he's not exactly the same kind of player. And it's like Berhalter initially, when he was breaking into the team, his long-range shots weren't great and his deliveries sometimes weren't great. And he worked so hard on that. And that's one of the things I loved about Seba. The work he put in at training in the off-season to get his game to the level it got, that got him this move, was phenomenal. Now, Larraz was taking off set pieces as well. And I felt they were much better. Having Goldie back, taking the corner kicks, much better. Ball in the air, decent crosses. Because it was interesting on Wednesday that for a number of the corners, it was like Gold played a moving ball to Larraz to hit. So it's like he prefers to hit the moving ball. But yet in this game, with that front four, he was a bit freer to just concentrate on being a defensive midfielder. Central midfielder, whatever you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Also, I think Kubis is getting a bit more forward as well in these last couple of games.
Yeah, in both games he's also had goes from distance. One that was really close on Wednesday. One that was maybe less close at the very beginning of the game. One was, I think, still goalless.
Yeah.
But and I think that wasn't with his left foot, actually. And that's what
a goal's coming for him.
Yeah.
And
you keep telling me that every game.
I know. It is going to come. But that takes the pressure off Larraz as well because you've got two of them now. So I still think we need somebody else in there with Larraz, a very good player to come in for rotations or for injuries or whatever. But there was 3 lineup changes for this match and just everything clicked. Everything was great and I think it was a perfect lineup. Before we get into the game, at the start of the game, the national anthems were getting played, and I was just having a bite to eat.
That's your protest.
That's my protest. I never go in for the anthems. I can't be arsed with them. But Har was like, I want to go and see if they're going to boo the anthem. And I was like, I hadn't even crossed my mind, but obviously with all the trade stuff, naturally, yeah. And the anthem was booed. Not heavily, a small number. I think it was booed more in Montreal for their game against the Galaxy from videos that I've seen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where initially there was more loud booing, then you could tell some of the more like how shall I say traditionally polite Canadians were like, yeah, come on, we shouldn't boo this, or you see like I don't know what 3-4 of our players are American out there, like This is where it gets awkward. Now, I would say I've no problem with booing anthems. I've booed God Save the Queen a lot in my life.
it's something we've talked about many times, so we won't beat this to death. Anthems shouldn't be played for club games, just in a league that every team plays. Now, Champions Cup, I could see that you would maybe play the anthems for that, but CONCACAF don't, because they know they can get like interrupted or whatever. They shouldn't be playing anthems at all. I would imagine, I was going to ask this after the game on Saturday, but everyone was quite busy. I'm pretty sure it's mandated that you have to.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, but if it was getting to the stage that the anthem's constantly getting booed, the easiest thing to do is you either just only play the Canadian one, or you don't play any anthems, which I would also be good with.
This is an American thing, Michael. I don't know. I can't even remember if we talked about this during the World Cup. But because I can't remember I think you experienced it in Seattle, or maybe not. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't have, because it was the American games, or you were at American games in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about this, Michael.
No, did they play the American anthem?
The American anthem was played at every stadium before every match.
Whoa.
But it was played when it was obviously not the Americans playing.
Yeah.
It would be played like an hour before the game. So the only time I really experienced this, the only time I was really in that early, was at the game in San Francisco. We were meeting Bayern friends up in the fourth tier of your Pigskin Stadium there, Levi Field, and all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, everyone, please rise. We're going to play the American anthem." And I was like, "What is going on?" And then Flo said to me, "He's like, oh yeah, dude, they do this at every game." I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, every game in the States."
Actually, now that you say that, they played it before Scotland-Haiti.
Yeah,
I blocked that from my mind, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is an American thing that it has to be played at a sporting event, or it's awkward.
It's tough. Like I understand why you would boo it with everything that's going on just now, but when you've got your American players on the pitch, it just creates an awkward dichotomy.
No, yeah,
and there's no easy solution apart from not playing the anthem, which then gets rid of that altogether.
This is a bit of a tangential thing, but I also don't like how, whether it's Whitecaps, Impact, well, maybe not the Impact, or Toronto, when they travel as away fans, they bring some of them, maybe not everyone, but they bring a bunch of Canadian flags. It's like, you're not there to support Canada. You're there to support your club. Bring a flag of your club. Bring a banner of your club. Leave the Maple Leaf out of this. Like, that's just an opinion. I totally respect that people are like, no, my club's Canadian, therefore I want a Canadian flag. That's fine, but that's just not my cup of tea.
If the Canadian flag has something that says Whitecaps on it or whatever, for example, like we've got East Fife flags, that's the Scottish Saltire, but it's got East Fife on it. Okay. I've got an East Fife Trinidad and Tobago flag.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, now we'll obviously get into the political part of the show, but we'll break down the tariff deal and the talks breaking down, the trade talks breaking down.
And if you don't want to hear this, you can pay my money to not.
Yes, we'll keep the football stuff for the extra podcast now, and we'll just talk politics going forward. So I am not going to be buying any American alcohol, but I never bought any anyway, so I don't think that's going to make a big difference. But, oh man, I've been following that all weekend, so it's always awkward because you're a Canadian club playing in an American league and you've got Americans on your team.
Did you see that thing with all the Whitecaps hat with the American flag on it?
Yes. Oh, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, there's a Whitecaps hat, but instead of the Canadian flag at the back of it, it's got the stars and stripes.
Which is, I thought that was a result of playing in an American league.
I think that is exactly what it is.
But I can obviously understand people's frustration.
Yeah. I'm glad the Seattle trip's done and dusted, because I'm not sure as many folk would have made the trip down post talks breaking down as before it. I'm due to head down again in October because I'm going down to see the Sex Pistols.
I'm due to head down this weekend.
Oh, traitor! Canadian traitors with Zach Meisenhammer.
Kirk really
blame the kids.
Kirk really wants to see Luva play live, and this could be his only chance. So it was either go to the game in Calgary against Cavalry, or go to see Luva in Seattle. So he's like, I want to go see Luva. I was like, okay, let's make it happen.
Boo. So send your hate mail at Zachary AM on social media everywhere. let's get away from politics. Let's talk about this wonderful match. And we'll just talk about the goals. 11 minutes in, the opener comes. Emmanuel Sabi. It's a corner from Gold. Ibiaga rises to meet it, flicks it clear to the top of the box where Sabi's waiting. Beautiful touch from Sabi to bring it down, get control, drives it through a crowd into the bottom corner. Horrible defending that nobody stuck a foot out or anything to even let that get through. But great control, great finish. 1-0 Whitecaps. We were off and running.
Yeah, and as Eric Quill talked about post game, like you can't be giving up set play goals, right? Like they're such a big part of the game.
Yeah.
You obviously, from the Whitecaps perspective, you want to work with them to get the advantage. But as a defensive team, you need to be stronger in these things, and Dallas really wasn't.
But like Gold, he got 2 assists in this game without getting official assists because there was 2 corners from Goldie that were put away. So there was a few more chances for the Caps after that, but then the second came in the 23rd minute. Brian White back in the team after his hamstring injury. Lovely goal again. Tristan Blackman with a long ball forward. It's brought down superbly by Edier Ocampo, and we'll talk about Ocampo at the end of the goals. Does a little kind of shimmy, the defender falls over. Lovely ball, centred. White slides in, directs it home. Very similar to Ryan Arumi's offside goal from Wednesday, just on the other side.
That's what I said to you.
No foul in the breakup, in the build-up to this one.
Yeah, that's what. As soon as it happened, I was like, "Wasn't that what happened on Wednesday?"
Pretty much identical. It was a team-leading 8th assist for Ocampo across all competitions. And I said we'll talk about him later. We may as well talk about him now. I asked Jesper after the match just to talk about Edier Ocampo, because it's easy to say he's kind of an unsung player, but we've been singing his praises all season. But he's having a quietly amazing season.
Yeah.
Could even put himself up in the Defender of the Year mix.
Yeah, that's...
The only thing with that is I don't know how many people outside of Vancouver are picking up on that.
Yeah, that tends to be the problem with these things.
His pace, he's quick at getting back. He's still amazing off the pitch, absolutely hilarious. A joy to watch at training. He's always got a smile on his face. But his contributions, for years I've talked about what I want from my fullbacks are fullbacks that get forward and get assists, but can also play defensively. And he's ticking all the boxes this year.
Not to be, not to depress the fan base, but he feels like he's the next one, right? Berhalter's come through, proved himself to be, not just proved himself, became a better player at the Whitecaps, and got a dream move to Europe. I think Ocampo is probably the next one who has come to the club and was a good player when he came, but has grown to maybe be a great or maybe excellent player, and has should have every opportunity to go improve that in a league in Europe at some point. I think really soon, potentially even
or down in South America, but one of the top sides down there.
Yeah. I think Europe would be more attractive and
he
more
still
lucrative.
isn't great at speaking English yet, though. So
There's a little country you might hear. It's called Spain.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
That could work out well for him.
Yeah, or Portugal. It's kind of the same, but it's not.
All the Brazilian and Portuguese people, just send your hate mail to Michael.
At Zachary AM. If Ocampo was to leave, it's a good thing we've got a dozen fullbacks, so it's fine.
He really has come on leaps and bounds.
No, he has.
It's really, really, really encouraging.
And like Jesper pointed out, this is still only this is really his first full season, and even then, he wasn't necessarily starting all the games at the start, but he's become such a crucial part of the team. And we spoke last time out, he's linking up well with Thomas Mueller, and with the front four in this game, his link-up play with them was phenomenal. The one thing that was maybe lacking a little bit was some of his shots were just a bit wayward, so he got a goal in this one that we'll come to. He had a couple of close calls as well, and he's been getting closer and closer in the games as well. So if he starts adding more goals as well as these assists, he's definitely going to have eyes on him.
Yeah, and especially when you score, like he scored a bunch of goals where he's darting in and putting it to the far post or whatever. This was just shows his football IQ, his quality, his athleticism.
Yeah,
it was a really beautiful goal, even if the angle was easier than it looked from where we were sitting.
Yeah. So we'll jump ahead to that fourth goal since we're talking about Edier. So 6 minutes into stoppage time, and Kubis floats a lovely ball into the back post. Ocampo rises, and he's not a big guy, but he outjumps everyone and puts it over the keeper.
Yeah, he has that athleticism. He has the ups to make a play like that, which is huge. And it's huge going forward, but also huge at the back because, how many times is he having to, shift into the middle of the park to pick up an extra attacker, defending against a cross, right?
But that's the great thing about this system and the way that the Whitecaps are playing. You've got your two centre-backs. I was going to say they're staying at home. They're not if Matty Laborda's on the pitch. He's usually at the other end of the pitch altogether. Yep. But you've got them staying at home with Kubis. So immediately you've still got your three at the back for these breakaways, and it allows Ocampo and Johnson or whoever's playing these full-back roles to get forward. And they've both got pace that can get back as well. And, I mean, it's tremendous. Going back to the third goal, 37th minute, Brian White gets his second of the game. It comes off another Goldie corner. It comes in. Larraz flicks it across goal. Lazy attempt to clear it by Harrington for me. He kind of just sticks his leg out. There's no real purpose to it. There's no real strength on it. If I'm the Dallas coach, I'm going nuts at him for that.
Yeah.
And then it just falls to White, who beautifully volleys it home. And Sirwa had no chance. Didn't even see it until it hit the back of the net, I think.
Yeah, it was a nice finish. Again, and part of it is just White's ability to follow the play, right? Like,
yeah. So he doesn't just score from close in, he's got that in his locker too.
Yeah.
Now, between that White goal and a Campus goal, there was a couple of moments from Dallas that's worth talking about. Harrington hit the post in a breakaway. Should have gone to the far post, decided to try and beat Yohei at the near post, crashes off the post. And then there was a penalty shout. Sam Sarver, tackled by Priso. I've seen this a couple of times, and I still think it's a penalty.
Is that the knee-on-knee one?
No, that was in the second half.
That's the second half one.
Which I also think was a penalty.
That one I can see.
Yeah. The only thing with this one, with the Priso tackle, I'm not sure that Priso actually gets him. I haven't seen a definitive thing that shows me that he brings him down. But Sarver was adamant, very adamant, to anyone that would listen, that he was caught and brought down, just couldn't believe it. But they did review it, and it was a very long review. And it's one of these things, if it's taken 3 minutes, it's clearly not an obvious...
Oh, yeah, this is the one. This is the one where they didn't bring the referee over, right? And it was just really, 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 really long. Yeah. Because that's what I did. I leaned over to you and said, if it's taking this long, clearly it cannot be clear and obvious.
Yeah. But then I pointed out, they have to check everything.
Yeah.
Did Priso catch him? If he caught him, was it a Dogsall challenge in that situation?
Right.
Sarver onside and the ball through to begin with, which I'm still not 100% sure if he was or not. But I think it definitely had a case.
It was interesting while Sarver was waiting. He went over to Willie's corner and said, "Okay, if I get a penalty, I want a beer."
Yeah, no one threw anything at him. Unlike the Dundee derby, Owen Goodman is on loan with Dundee at the moment. Someone chucked something at him in the first half, hit him straight in the head.
Is that racism?
No, just derby hatred.
Derby hatred. Okay.
Also, going off on a side tangent here, Scottish football just now is becoming a disgrace off the pitch.
Oh.
There's all these wannabe hooligans, ultras, and some are great, and they're just there for the entertainment, the singing, the atmosphere. Some of them are going there to cause trouble. We've had issues this weekend at East Fife. We've got a few issues at East Fife at the moment, in that the home end, fans can't be in the home end at the moment until they do some work that's going to cost £72,000, and the club don't have that to pay.
Tell Lee to start fundraising.
Well, they are. The home and the away fans are now in it together. But what they do at half-time is they let them go outside for a fag. And that then causes trouble. But there's all these young Neds, as we call them, that are going to football now in Scotland.
Like Ned Flanders? Or what?
No, I forget what it stands for. It's basically just a tearaway, a hooligan.
Okay.
So
I get it. That.
So there was a fight between East Fife fans, I'm using inverted commas, and Hamilton fans at half-time on Saturday. And you've got all these idiots that's turning up at games wearing balaclavas and... Yeah, so anyway, Owen Goodman got hit by a lighter, it kind of looked like, that had hit him.
That's unfortunate.
Never coins, because we're Scottish and we don't throw money away.
It didn't, draw blood, did it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he did go down.
If anyone wants to see larger scale...
Oh, yes.
Larger scale...
It's not even March.
Yeah, is it hooliganism? I don't know. Larger scale.
Oh, it looked it.
Interactions between ultras. Make sure you look up Waldorf Mannheim versus Kaiserslautern in the first round of the German Cup from this weekend.
Because I sent that to you, going, "What the hell's going on here?"
Did you see the 20-minute doc I sent you?
You sent me two things that I couldn't watch.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I sent you another one where. Oh, I sent you one thing. You have to follow the page to see it. I sent you one where part of it is the Mannheim fans literally during the match burned a banner or flag of the Kaiserslautern fans in their section, just burned it, and they were like.
You see the joy from Zach there, laughing about such hooligan matters at Zachary M on social media.
Oh my! Again, I don't condone it. Unlike you,
I don't mind a little bit of it. It's embarrassing when it's my team like East Fife. Although the East Fife guy won, so that was okay.
But it was funny because the actual I sent you I thought I sent you this 20-minute documentary.
You might have actually. I think that one did come through, but I haven't watched it.
Anyways,
I haven't got a 20-minute attention span.
That one starts off with no one likes influencers at football, but watch this guy's video because it tells you everything shows you everything.
No one likes influencers at all.
Well, have you seen that? Both Dynamo Dresden and Boca Juniors in the last week have banned influencers from being at their stadium.
Oh, yeah, no, I hadn't seen that. That is fantastic.
If you go to the game and you got a selfie stick and you're making long videos and stuff,
yeah.
I think they kick you out or something now.
Did I send you the Whitecaps female influencer video?
I don't know if you did.
That was one I'd maybe made an exception for.
Oh no, you did. No, it was the one you were hoping would become a Whitecap.
Yes.
Yes.
Very welcome in the press box anytime.
Oh, Michael.
Or the show.
Oh, Michael.
Let's quickly move on. I've just got Gemma's voice in my head going, Michael.
Yeah.
I get that a lot in our chats.
The voice of reason.
Yes. She's the mum of the group. Even though she's young enough to be my daughter. But anyway, moving on. It was 4-0 at half-time. And that already had put the thought in my head of, we could be on for a record score here, beating that 7-0 Philly one. And then a great start to the second half as well. It took a little bit of time to get the fifth. A couple of subs were made, got a chance to take off Sabi and White, rest them, just still coming back from injury. Bruno Caicedo, coming back from injury himself, comes on the pitch. Within 6 minutes, he's made it 5-0. Little layoff from Thomas Mueller. Nice finish from Bruno past Sirwa. And as I always like to say, an old phrase that we use in the UK, it's kind of got a bookmaker's parlance. The Whitecaps went nap.
Classic.
That just means 5.
I learned that from you a few years ago. So
I like to use that because it's a very outdated phrase, as most of my jokes are. And going back just a few minutes ago, and yeah, it was 5-0. And I put the tweet out, just a reminder, the largest ever single winning margin in a game in MLS is 7. It's shared by a number of teams, including the Whitecaps, with that 7-0 win over Philadelphia. But then Sheikh Sabali and Ryan Illumi came on, and that was it. Finished 5-0.
Hey, don't group Ryan in with that. He's
No.
he's not
Yes.
responsible.
I mean, Sheikh Sabali was playing the number 10 role. And I don't know if Jesper was just like, well, he keeps wanting to cut inside to the middle. Let's just maybe put him there and see if he's happy there.
I think I think that's a fair rationale for why that decision was made.
Yeah.
But
Actually, like all jokes aside, I think he looked better there.
I do too. I mean,
But I would have liked to have seen Liam McKenzie
oh
come
yes,
on and get those minutes.
yeah. In the I wrote a piece for the written part of the website where I shared some thoughts that some things both you and I have been talking about a lot, both on the show and in the press box, about how I think it's however months we're in now. What is it? It's August, and he's been here since February. It feels like Sabali's. It's hard to judge him after only like less than one full season,
I know.
but it feels like he's maybe not at MLS level, or as you've often said to me, at Whitecaps MLS level.
Yeah.
And part of it is, like you said, his preferred position is wide left, and whenever he's played there, he cuts in every time. And there are players in football who do that, but they typically do that because they then do something when they cut inside. And he has just been really poor at either creating passing opportunities or taking quality shots from the positions he moves into. And it's been really, really frustrating for his teammates, for his coaches, and obviously for the fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't help. Like, we're struggling to break down low blocks. So when you cut inside, you're just going into all this traffic.
Yep.
You need to stretch the game, and the way of doing that is to cut to the outside. And you saw that in this game. Sabi and Goldie. And I know some folk don't like Goldie on the wing, but I think he's very effective there. But he also, Goldie on the wing is a Goldie that goes all over the pitch, and it's very interchangeable with that.
Well, but that's the
three.
thing. When you have a Thomas or a Ryan Gold who play wide, they can go wide, but then they can also come inside and allow room for the overlapping fullback, which is
Well,
why
yeah, that's the thing as well. You've got
fullbacks.
Johnson and Acampo tearing up the wings, giving you those wingers.
And that's another problem with Sabali, as I think too often than not, when he's cut inside, he's totally neglected the overlap. And so not only is he not moving into a cluttered area of the pitch, but
Oh, yeah, because there's so much space then in the pocket because someone's made a run, but the defender's followed Sabali, and it's like he's wide open.
yeah, and then he's often lost, or I don't know the stats, but he's lost position too often doing that.
Yeah.
And then that fullback is way out of position, and then it hurts you defensively. It hurts your shape. Like there's so many frustrating things about it that a player at with his CV should be able to do much better. And then, like I said in the article, we don't like to always factor this in, but you can't help but look at the salaries that came
I'd
out.
forgotten about the salary part till you wrote that, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's over $1 million.
He's 1.1 guaranteed, I think, and 1.4 with bonuses, and that makes him fourth on the team.
Yeah,
Like
that is insane.
Yeah, I mean,
And like, I don't want to turn this into we're like riding on him, and hopefully he comes good. I'd love nothing more
yeah,
than for him to make me eat my words, and he has a brilliant end of the season and bangs in goals and gets assists. I just don't see where it's coming from. And the reason I would have liked to have seen Liam McKenzie come in the 10 role in this game, you're 5 goals to the good. Well, 4. No, it was 5 actually when Sabali came on.
yeah.
And I asked Jesper on Friday, you can check that out on the scrum on the Whitecap socials, what does Liam need to do to get into the team? He's having a great season with the twos. He was great with the U20s. And Jesper said, yep, it's just been unfortunate for him that he's got really good players ahead of him in his favoured position, which is as the 10. He can also play the 8 role though as well. But if his favoured position's the 10 and you've got those players ahead of him and you're wanting to get Goldie and Muller off, put Liam in that position. You're 5 goals to the good.
Yeah.
Have a look at him. You've nothing to lose by that point.
Yeah, it felt like the perfect opportunity to see him. And at the same time, I understand why Jesper wanted to take the opportunity to try and ignite Sabali.
Yes, I do see that side of it as well. But it was a dominant performance by the Whitecaps. 61% possession. Outshot Dallas 17-7, 8-1 on target. Jesper said after the game, we created the same amount of chances as we did on Wednesday, but this time we got 8 on target.
Yeah, which is bang on, which is also why he was so frustrated on Wednesday.
Yeah. We can't have too many nice things, though. Ralph Priso went off at half-time. It looks like it's an ankle injury, maybe a twist.
There's one moment I thought Yohei was pointing to his...
you thought it was concussion, but I don't know I think Yohei was just pointing to his head. It's like, everyone just keep clued in, focused in here to the end of the half. But yeah, hopefully it's nothing. But he cramped in Seattle. He's got the twist here. You just hope he hasn't rushed back too soon, or that his body's kind of breaking down. I said to you during the game, every time he goes down now, I'm getting really concerned.
Yeah,
we've been through that before with Sam, and I'm not saying that this is all bad, but it's like, oh, what now? You really feel for the guy.
On a familial note, his brother scored this weekend.
Oh, who's he with down in the USL? I forget.
I forget the name of it. I think it's Charlotte's. Is it Charlotte's second team? I think.
Okay. Oh, and MLS Next Pro.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah,
not USL.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, big 5-0 win. SKC are next up. We'll talk about them in the next part, along with some of the big stories coming out of the league this week. And we'll be back doing just that after this episode's song from the C86 era.
Hi, I'm Brian White, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Welcome back to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio 101.9 FM. And kicking off our musical selections for this episode, it's our C86 song for the show. If you've been with us all year, you'll know that we are paying tribute to 40 years of New Musical Express's legendary and kind of groundbreaking C86 cassette. A 22-track cassette compilation that brought together a wide variety of musical bands and sounds from the 1986 UK indie scene. We've played all 22 of the original tracks in order to start the year and our tribute. What we've been doing the last few episodes is there was an expanded 3-CD version of the cassette that came out on Cherry Red Records in 2014. So I've been kind of selecting some songs from that. And the one you heard there to kick off this part, you can find it on disc 2 of the compilation. And I've been saving this one for a few weeks for this very weekend. It's from Leicester unpop band Yeah Yeah No. And that was their song, Another Side of Mrs. Quill, the band's fifth single, originally released in August 1985. It features on their second album, 1986's Fun on the Lawn, Lawn, Lawn. And the band released 2 albums and 5 singles when they were around from 1984 to 1986. There's a couple of compilations out there too. They reformed in 2012 and they put out a third album back in 2015. That was Yeah Yeah No, Another Side of Mrs. Quill. And we'll be back with another C86 era song next episode. And of course, the reason that I kept that song for this episode is it's a song about Mrs. Quill. And FC Dallas in town on Saturday, led by Eric Quill. Don't think there's any relation between the two, but this seemed a perfect episode to dig out that song. And we're going to continue the football chat now in this part. We're going to focus on the lie of the land in MLS, some of the big talking points in the league this week. And we'll kick things off, though, with some post-game audio from the aforementioned Eric Quill. Zach caught up with the FC Dallas manager after the match on Saturday evening. Here's his thoughts on that one.
Eric, commiserations on the defeat. A difficult night, obviously, for you here at BC Place. The Whitecaps, since return from the World Cup, have really not been themselves, and it felt like a matter of time before they kind of began to click. Unfortunately, you guys were on the end of that tonight. How did you see the game play out from your vantage point on the bench?
Yeah, we didn't show up to play. They're too good not to show up to play. I apologize to our fans. Our fans don't deserve that kind of performance. I make the choices in who plays, and I got this is on me. They're a great side and well coached, and first goal we set piece can't give those away, and we never really regained ourselves after the first goal, and that was disappointing. Was not to see. We usually have a resilient group that bounces back from giving up a goal, and we didn't have that tonight, and it got worse and worse. And just disappointing for our fans and for the club tonight, because we're better than that.
Even in difficult matches like this, you can still learn things. There's things you can get out of them. Coming into the half, what did you say at halftime? What were you looking for in the second half? And did you see some of what you're hoping to see in the second half?
Yeah, I thought the second half we brought on 4 subs, right? And I thought we started to play a bit, but the game was at a 4-0 at half. The game's gone, and we're just trying to chip away, find a goal, see if we can, again, you try to find your way back in the game, small pieces. And I thought we played okay in certain spells, but then, it just was a night that got away from us, and we can't have it happen. These performances cannot happen if we're going to really, stay committed and true to what we're here for. And we lost our purpose tonight. One
last one for me, Coach. You talked about squad selection. Obviously, it's something you choose. I was wondering, the Musa not starting, was that just simply rotation because it's been a busy season, a busy spell here?
Yeah, he had a little bit. We were a little concerned with his hamstring, and we've had 3 games in 7 days, and so naturally we trust in our guys. We trust that we can rotate and not miss a beat. Next guy up, next man up. That's what as coaches, you prepare your group, and I have trust in all the guys. I have trust in all of them, and we got to take a hard look at what went wrong tonight and why it went wrong, and we got to make ourselves better and stare it in the face and call it what it is.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Quill, speaking to Zach there after Dallas's demolishment by the Whitecaps on Saturday. Very honest stuff from Eric. And if anyone's seen your video, a nice noisy place to do the interview, but nice backdrop.
Yeah, the regular spot is quieter.
It's noisy as hell as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, it can be quieter. They'll usually hear the team. Well, sometimes you hear the team celebrating.
Very rarely at BC Place.
Just San Jose, especially.
Yeah.
but it's also just kind of like very small and cramped, and we're always whatever. I kind of liked standing in the tunnel. It's kind of fun, but you're right, it was very loud.
Yes. So the sound was the best that we could get it, but I still think it was odd not playing Musa. And he kind of puts his hand up and says he maybe got the selection wrong. And I get, like the Whitecaps, it's 3 games in 7 days, which is insane. We didn't touch on that in the first part, but it's
he also said he's nursing, or he
he said he was kind of nursing something,
a hamstring. So
which putting him on that pitch is not the best thing to do when you're 4 goals down. Then
no, not at all. Yeah,
odd.
The best thing about it, I think, is the league needs coaches who will do more of that. Just hold their hand and say, "Yeah, I got it wrong. We were not good enough tonight. I apologize to our fans. You know, we won't let this happen again." Sort of kind of perspective. I think it's a few people have commented, said, "Oh, this is refreshing. Like this is what the kind of thing I want from my coach," even though I'm not a Dallas fan.
The thing is, Dallas had come into that as the team with the joint second best form in all of MLS in the last few weeks. And you saw what the Whitecaps did to them.
They were coming off a Texas Derby victory against Austin.
Yeah, unbeaten in 3 and a good run since return from the action. But cramming all these games in just so you've been able to accommodate the League's Cup is so frustrating. Have the League's Cup as these midweek games and teams can decide if they want to play like full strength teams or whatever, and instead you've got teams playing 3 games in 7 days, not even 3 and 8, but 3 and 7, and travel and various things. But
I think that's not a bad show, Mike. Obviously, this is the World Cup year, and the World Cup plays a little bit of a role in this.
Yeah, that's messed things up as well.
But yeah, if you made the League's Cup a midweek competition, it'll hurt you a little bit at the gate. But the point of this
people can't go into the games anyway.
Well, here it's a harder draw, but in the States it's also not as drawn as well more recently.
No, but you do have the Mexican fan bases. Exactly,
and it's almost like you're drawing in a bit of a different crowd, and so it's I think it would be more to someone like me who's come to tolerate the competition. It would be even more bearable if it was like, hey, this is our midweek thing, and the league doesn't shut down or it doesn't stop for a week or 2 or whatever. And it would also just make more sense in terms of how competitions are traditionally held within football, right? Like, hey, yeah, we're playing league at the weekend, we're playing cup during the week. That I think they potentially could improve the competition if they were able to do something like that. Now there might be logistical reasons that they can't do that, but I think that's something they should maybe look at. Well,
I mean, it's going to be pre-season tournament pretty much. I think
right. Eventually,
from now on, or hopefully they're not going to start messing up the start of seasons as well by carrying it into that. But I guess we will see. So if the Whitecaps can do that to a team that's in good form coming to BC Place, what on earth is in store for Sporting Kansas City? Not just the team that's bottom of the Western Conference, but the team with the worst record in all of the 30 teams in MLS. Went down today to a 2-1 defeat to Atlanta United.
Did you notice who started at the center forward position for Atlanta?
Well, I noticed it wasn't Embolo, who's not quite good to go yet. He's just been announced, which is insane. Fafa.
Fafa Pico, yeah.
Fafa got the goal. Well, he got one of the goals. Actually, he got the match winner. Yeah, what do you think of Breel Embolo signing for Atlanta, coming to MLS? It looked like it had fallen through because of salary demands and stuff, but now it's a done deal.
So, Breel Embolo, as a player who's played, he's Swiss, has played in the Bundesliga, played especially for Borussia Mönchengladbach, is a player I've seen, quite a bit, and it was one of the players I was excited to watch at the World Cup this summer.
I got to chat with him briefly.
Yeah. I think he could do really well. Like, he's not even old. Is he like 29? 28, 29? He's not.
Maybe younger. I'll get a press release up while you're talking.
He's not old. If he can stay fit, and if the pitch in Atlanta doesn't cause him any problems, I think he is a player who could come in and do extremely well.
I mean, he loved Vancouver. we loved him. It'd have been amazing to have him here. He is 29, incidentally.
Yeah.
But obviously playing on the turf here would have killed him with the injury issues that he's had.
But Atlanta's turf too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, which is a bit odd, but it's maybe better than ours. Well, it wouldn't be hard. Maybe the turf, maybe AC/DC's done their magic and the turf's now great.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like Atlanta, after, riding that wave of all the extra gam that you get from being an expansion club and winning in their first year with Tata and whatever, and Miggy Almiron and whatever, they failed to impress.
Yeah, they fell off a cliff after that.
But hopefully for them, this can revitalize things for them, because you don't want to see. When you watch the game today and you see all the empty seats everywhere. I mean, it's a giant stadium, right? So
yeah.
There's I don't know what the number was, 20,000 or whatever, but like you in that stadium of that size, it's kind of like when you go to Seattle, like you want there to be like a good 40,000 people to make it feel good, or like 35 minimum. And you hope that bringing in a player like this, who should be able to do a ton of damage in MLS, will really kind of reignite things for them, and they can kind of maybe restore kind of some of their former glories, if we can speak of it in those terms. But no, it has been interesting to me to just kind of just watching highlights in a few other games, how like attendance. And I don't know if this is a bit of a World Cup hangover or whatever, but like attendance, I haven't actually looked or crunched the numbers, but it's been a little bit concerning. I
mean, the eye test, there's a lot of teams that look like they're struggling just now. Obviously there's what's announced and who's there, but there's a lot of empty seats around the league.
Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta's struggling at the moment. Whether they can go on a bit of a run, get in the playoffs, I don't know. Kansas City look like way out of it now. But if we talk about big signings, who are the Whitecaps going to face in this SKC side? Because today it was quite a young team that was out there, and they were outplayed. They should have lost by more than 2-1, but they got themselves back in it after going 2 down, but they were really outclassed. This does feel like a team that the Whitecaps could just absolutely destroy.
I mean, the opening goal, Miggy Almiron's cross, is beautiful, and the finish was nice too. But the cross,
the KC goal was nice as well. Mm-hmm. But it looks like they won't have their star DP Dejan Joveljic playing for them. We'll come to that in a sec. But I don't know whether they might have another new addition, because Argentine journalist Cesar Luis Merlo, many folk will know him, reported on Friday that Sporting Kansas City have submitted an offer of $23 million initially, with a further $2 million in bonuses, to New York City FC to sign their Argentine, primarily attacking midfielder. He can also play as a forward, Nicolas Fernandez. Terms with the player have still to be agreed, but quite understandably, New York City are fine to do this because they're about to get $23 to $25 million. It would be the second largest deal in MLS history, just behind Sonny going to LAFC. Absolutely insane figures. I don't understand this at all.
No.
23 million.
It doesn't make sense. Was it you who said to me, if this guy's worth this, what is Brian White worth?
Yeah. Because, he's 26 years old. He's never been capped by Argentina. He only joined NYCFC last July from La Liga side Elche. And I had a look, and his stats at Elche weren't superb. It was 10 goals and 91 appearances.
Yeah.
He's played 45 games for NYC across all competitions, 18 goals, 8 assists. He got an assist today away to New England Revolution.
Which is quality.
Yeah.
But within MLS, is it 23 to 25 million USD quality?
Yeah. He played the full 90 today, which makes me wonder how close this is to going ahead, if it is going ahead. This year in MLS, he's scored 13 goals and he's got 5 assists in 21 games. So that's not a bad return. But yeah, what's Brian White worth in that market then? What's a fully fit Ryan Gauld worth in that market?
Without going into the details, you and I were very recently talking about potential issues that arise for leagues when they overinflate the market within their own league.
Yes,
and the problems that can cause them. And this, I wonder if this is something that MLS would want to stop, or if there's a way that they actually benefit from this, because it feels like it's. I might be wrong, and maybe this is something that we could talk to Manu about. But it feels like they're creating a false or an inflated market value for players that can be unhealthy for them in the long term. I'm not talking like NSL era, unhealth or whatever, or mismanagement or that kind of thing, but just in general.
NASL.
NASL.
Before they think you're attacking the women's league.
Sorry. NASL. No,
no.
The old league.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say something about the salaries in that league, but yeah. Moving on.
But you know what I mean? Like
that would be a great discussion to talk to Manu about, because I went on Transfer Market out of curiosity.
Yeah,
and he's valued on there at under 10 million US.
Yeah, which to be fair, lots of players get sold for well above their market value.
Yeah,
right?
And to be fair, I think a lot of those transfer figures on Transfer Market are just plucked out of a hat and written down on the back of a napkin.
No, well, I think Manu and his employers and the teams of people they have some metrics for them, but obviously your actual market value is whatever someone's willing to pay for you.
Well, yeah, it's like I collect things, but what it's worth is only what another collector would pay for it.
Exactly, like that Lego set I got you, right? I told you.
Oh, hey, I know. I can't believe I got $500. Oh,
yeah, if you don't want to build it, you can sell it for way more than what I paid for it.
I will build it and they will come. Or at least you will when you see the completed Lego set.
But yeah, no, it's a really interesting case study, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And yeah,
I mean, NYC need him for their push, but you're not going to turn down $23 million. If someone offered the Whitecaps $23 million for Brian White, that's impossible to turn down.
You'd bite their hand off, right?
I'd be sorry to see him go, but I would be like, woohoo, we're getting that barista in the press box. It will come. If you build it, it will come. But
why, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, it's an obscene amount of money.
Yeah, it feels... Yeah.
I mean, football just now in general is an obscene amount of money. I was watching the Brentford Spurs game on Saturday. Brentford signed a player for £41 million. Brentford.
Yeah.
When you've got clubs like Brentford signing players for $41 million, the games.
And how did he perform in that game?
I mean, he was outstanding, but still.
Did he? Because they won 3-0, right?
Yeah, he got pushed. He was kind of in the background, and the players pushed him towards the fans to take his flowers at the end of it. So, I mean, he was excellent. But you've got clubs like Brentford, who I know are now a top team. They're a Premier League team. But their fans, and like one of my friends in Scotland is a Brentford fan because his dad was English and from the Brentford area. So he always grew up as a Brentford fan. He can't believe what they've gone through even getting to the Premier League, never mind now spending $41 million on one player.
My buddy Tom Duder is a Bees fan, and yeah, he's very... I haven't talked about it in a while, but I know when they got to the Premier League, he was over the moon.
Yeah. I think in tribute to Brentford, might have a special little wavelength song for them coming up in part 4. I was going between a couple of songs, but now that we've been talking about them, I may as well go for that one. But yeah, I mean... if that deal goes ahead, to me it's insane. It's overinflated. To make way for Fernandez's possible arrival in roster management terms, KC are looking to move on. Dejan Joveljic, he's heading to Seattle in a $6 million cash trade. and he wasn't part of the game day squad today. And so, although it's not official, it looks like it's a done deal. The Sounders obviously badly need a forward right now, and we've said all season that Joveljic is wasted in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand him going there from a team that had just won the MLS Cup. It was so bizarre.
It feels like he would really enjoy playing with the service of Rusnak.
Oh, yeah. I might unlock Rusnak a little bit there as well. And
Yeah.
it's a decent deal for KC because it was just last year they paid $4 million for him. So they've made $2 million on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that will offset some of the money if the Fernandes thing goes ahead. But they've been splashing the cash because just on Tuesday this week, Kansas City made their then record transfer when they brought in Brazilian winger Andre Luiz from Greek side Olympiacos, coming in as a DP for a reported fee of $18 million. This is the team that's bottom of all of MLS, and they could be spending over $40 million on just two players.
Yeah, I mean, they spent a number of years now at the bottom of the Western Conference. But I mean, KC were built. Well, what's his name? Vermees, right?
Yeah, Peter Vermees.
Peter Vermees, a guy not exclusively on the back of quality American players, but significant quality. I mean, Graham Zusi was one. Kai Kamara when he was younger was there.
Johnny Russell
later on. He's not American, but what's the other
in his
guy?
heart he is now. He loves the barbecue.
What's the other guy's? The other guy, he was a stalwart. He played for the American national team. I forget his name. I can't remember. I mean,
I know who you mean.
The center back. He was center back, wasn't he? Anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like they developed a bunch of those players, right? Like they kind of came through. And then, or they were there for years and years and years, and it was like just a solid team, and then it kind of.
Oh, they were excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that good run.
So
and
it feels like
they've
this is
been
a
in the
very
doldrum for 4 or 5 years now.
And it was during that time where they're like, we're building our own stadium. We're not playing at the baseball diamond anymore. And they built an incredible stadium.
Yep.
Was highly touted by MLS. Lots of teams have gone there and learned things from how they chose to conduct things and set things up. And then they've fallen off the wagon, and they too have suffered. It was always like you couldn't get a ticket. It was always sold out. And now you could, bring your whole high school there if you wanted to.
I mean, I don't mind them doing this because it doesn't look like the Whitecaps will have them in their division under the new setup anyway, but we'll come to that in a sec as well.
But it's an interesting, different approach now. They're like, we're tired of being
we're spending money.
Well,
they just bought out Spanish midfielder DP Manu Garcia. He only came to them at the start of last season, also from Greece, incidentally.
But hasn't done super well.
No. And they're said to be in the market for 2 new DPs, an attacking midfielder, which presumably is Fernandes, and a centre forward. So the danger with this, though, is it kind of smacks of a TFC-style rebuild where you're splashing the cash on a very bad team. If it doesn't work out, or you got injuries, or they don't click, or there's a big gulf between the rest of the team and these guys, it can really go pear-shaped. But, I mean, for their sake, hopefully it proves to be better results.
It's going to be interesting to watch. And you're right. I think the most interesting thing for Whitecaps fan at the moment is it feels like none of these will impact them except for the fact that Joveljic will be gone.
Yeah.
So they'll be even, in theory, even worse.
Yeah. I fancy a thrashing coming up this weekend, and I'm all for it. I was even tempted to go because I've still got some WestJet money in a travel bank I've got to use by the start of December, but it's going to be 31 degrees. I was like, nah, I'll try and find somewhere else to go to before December.
Yeah, playoff games.
I think we could be hosting most of those, the way things are going, because I said this in the extra podcast. Sorry to keep harking back to that and repeating myself.
You said they're going to win the
I
West.
cannot see us not winning the West. Even with the form we had been in before this win against Dallas, I'm still fully confident that we're winning the West, and even more so now, because they've got a bit of a cushion at the top of the West. They are 2 points clear over Houston now, but everyone around them has been dropping points. The West has tightened up so much now over the last few weeks because of that. Just 2 points separate 3rd to 6th, and just 3 points separate 7th to 13th. That's like, what a battle this is going to be now for the rest of the season. And I said to you, everyone's going to take points off everyone. It was another good weekend of results for the Whitecaps. St. Louis beat Houston 2-1, 2 teams in really good form. And St. Louis took the lead. Houston tied it up in the 75th. And then Polvara got an 85th minute winner for St. Louis, ending Houston's great run of form and their 5 straight clean sheets as well. And that was obviously then fantastic for the Caps, who went back to the top of the West. LAFC struggled at home to Portland, but they lost an early goal. And then Buanga had a beautiful finish to earn them a point in the end. Yeah. But the pressure is piling up on Mark DeSantis. If they'd lost this one, I think it might have been really, really high pressure. I mean, they were the better team, LAFC. But again, Mark's just not getting the best out of these guys. LAFC, I don't know what's happened to them just now. They started back from the break really good. Just like they started the season really good. And then just big dip.
Yeah, I know Son didn't start the year well, but it's also a World Cup year where he's going to play more than most.
Yeah, but then he came back from the break great, and now he's dipped again.
I mean, yeah, I guess South Korea didn't get out of the group, so...
No, he didn't have a lot of games to play. But if we're talking about teams that's fallen off a cliff in terms of form, San Jose...
What time is it?
Lost again. Spanked at home 5-1 by Minnesota after taking the lead.
Yeah.
Another Werner goal
Penalty.
from the spot. Yeah. I don't know what's happened to San Jose.
I think...
complaining.
No, if we're honest, though, I think we maybe said this.
Scottish goalkeeper.
No, they were punching above their weight in the
well, they were, yeah. But they were playing some nice stuff as well.
Yeah.
So the form since the return from the World Cup break had got me thinking. Just, I wanted to look at what the table looked like just as they went into the break compared to what it looked like now. And it made for very interesting reading. So the Whitecaps had been top going into the World Cup break, tied on 32 points with San Jose, with Houston 1 point behind in third. So now the Whitecaps are on 40 points, so they've actually earned 8 points. Despite this, what feels like a horrible run of form, they've earned 8 points since returning to action. They're 2 points clear at the top, with a game in hand over Houston, who are now second on 38, and they've claimed 7 points since the return from the World Cup break. And that surprised me because I thought they were in better form than that.
Yeah, I agree.
But they have moved up 1 spot. LAFC also moved up 1 place to third. They've had 9 points from the return to action. And that is with us just saying that they're not doing well just now.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come to San Jose. They've dropped to 4th. And since returning from the break, they've taken just 1 point.
It dropped 2 spaces, yeah.
Yeah, 33 points they're on now. Tied with Dallas, who have had 12 points since return to action. But that's only been good enough to move them up 2 spots. This is now why it's all congested. And then just below them, the in-form team, St. Louis, 13 points they've claimed since returning to action. 33 points, up 2 spots. Colorado, 9 points claimed. They're on 28, up 2 spots. RSL have fallen 2 spots despite taking 6 points. And then Portland's got himself now in the playoff spots, moving up from 11th, having taken 9 points. It's the Neville effect. Let him go as you're good.
How does Phil feel about all that?
I don't know why. I got I can't remember if it was a video recommendation or something. And it was stuff that Gary Neville had put out in 2011, some tweets. And one of the tweets was, He was like, absolutely gutted by the weekend result, but feel better now because I've battered the wife. Zach's face when I said that. And the next day he apologised, going, I would like to apologise for that tweet. I know it reads like it was domestic abuse, but he had just beaten her playing a game of something.
Oh, like battered the wife in Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, very unfortunate phrase to use.
Important. That's called an important clarification.
Yeah, a very important clarification there. But yeah. And then that had been brought up when he was appointed the women's national team coach.
Yeah, of course.
As you would. But getting back to the West, Minnesota, who I felt were in a bad run of form, have taken 10 points. But they're still just in 10th space. San Diego have moved up 2 spots to 11. They've taken 12 points. Galaxy's claimed 9. They're still the same in 12th.
This is the big one.
And the big one, Seattle, down 8 places.
With only taking 1 point.
1 point, and that was this weekend at Cincinnati.
That's crazy. They
are in free fall right now. But they're still in the mix. They're only 3 points off the playoff spots. That's how tight the West is. Yes. I still wouldn't even write Austin out at 21 points and 14th. They've taken 7 points since returning to action. But this is going to be an absolute dogfight for the West.
Dogfighting is illegal, Michael.
Sorry, I just clarify that. 8 out of the 14 teams have actually taken more points than the Whitecaps since returning to action. But we're sitting pretty with a bit of a cushion. We're in a better position now with not playing well than we were going into the break when we were flying. But it's just because everyone else has been pure and utter shit.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah. Crazy.
Very weird.
Last little bit of MLS stuff to talk about in this part. We haven't spoken at all about this. I don't know what Zach's reaction is. Multiple league and club sources told The Guardian this week, on the condition of anonymity, that MLS is planning a significant overhaul of its playoff format for the end of the new, or the very first fall to spring season. So this would be for the 2028 playoffs. And it's going to be a system that would be completely unique in North American soccer. And it's akin to the Australian rules football system that is used, which I had no idea that this is what they did down there. I know they have all these finals that they talk about. There's the Western final, the Grand final, we've just got out of bed final and all this kind of stuff. So, according to Paolo Mora's article, plans include a double elimination component with 20 teams set to feature in the postseason, which is 2/3 of the league. And the playoffs would start in late April. They would unfold over about 3-ish weeks, with the MLS Cup getting played, and they've got an exact date, on May 21st, 2028. Now, the 2027-28 season is going to see the league move to a 5-division setup in place of its current East and West conference format. So the 20 potential playoff spots wouldn't even get evenly distributed amongst those 5 divisions. Instead, all the teams would be then combined into a single table at season's end, despite having very different opposition and strength of opposition formats. And the overall 20 best teams would then advance to the postseason. 8 of those 20 teams would take part in a play-in round. 4 teams would advance, creating a field of 16 teams. And then I want to read the next bit verbatim, because it's crazy. The top 8 teams in the combined table of 16 would play in a double elimination round, a move that seems aimed at further incentivising the league's regular season matches. A win in that initial round would see a team through directly to the quarterfinals. Teams, sources said, would be reseeded after each round ensuring that higher seeded teams are offered a competitive and hosting advantage throughout the playoffs. So then the losing 8 teams in the first round of the playoffs would still get to play again to get to the quarterfinals. It is like batshit crazy stuff. I hate it.
Oh my. It's, I mean, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like,
I mean, I don't like the current format. They had a great format, and then they ruined that. That everyone liked it, thought it was great, and then we've got this new format with the best of game 3-game series. I don't like it, but I like it better than this nonsense, which seems made to make sure the biggest teams can stay in for as long as possible for revenue, TV eyeballs.
Yeah, it's not good. When you're going to have 20 out of 30 teams or whatever in the competition, why not just have an actual separate cup with everyone in? And yeah, it just...
You've got to be having a pretty bad season not to make it.
Yeah.
But the fact that, I mean, there may be some things that's not fully announced. I would hope that the 5 divisional winners are the top 5 seeds. Otherwise, what is the point of winning your division? If you're second in the division, but you end up as a second or third seed over another divisional rival, it's like, what?
No, but that's the thing, Michael. That's not what you read. What you read is that the top 8 will be, the top 8 are from the single table, and those top 8 will be favored. So if I'm second or third in my division works out to be, I guess, weak enough for me to get enough points, I could be ahead of the lead team from some other really challenging division that has a lot of really great teams, and they take points off each other. It lacks competitive balance. That's for sure. And it's not football. But the thing is, it's not even North American anything.
No.
So if you're not going to do football and you're not going to do North American stuff, then this just seems ridiculous.
Like I'm all for, well, I'm not all for anything. I'm for some innovation.
Yeah.
But make it make sense. Like,
I know some people haven't liked the 2 years, and they've gone away from it. The 2 years of how the CPL did the 5-team,
or like the curling page format.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I know some people didn't like that, but at least it made sense. Like at least it. The other thing I want to say about this, Michael, and this doesn't necessarily have to do away with this. One of the comments I really appreciated in the post game after the Cascadia Cup victory down in Seattle was when we asked yesterday about, hey, like, you've never lost the Cascadia Cup. You only know what it is to win it. You're from a place that's rich in football tradition and history that's built over time. This is something we built here. Like, what are your thoughts on it all? And I thought the most important thing that he said in those comments to me was, and I don't know if he was trying to emphasize this or not, but the thing that stood out to me was football is better when you have fans of both, as many as possible, fans of both teams in the stadium. Mm-hmm. And these kind of playoff formats really hinder that, right? The crazy cost of travel on our continent make it very difficult and very expensive to be like, oh, next week we're playing against Colorado. So we got to get a plane ticket. Okay, it's $800 because it's within a week? Oh, okay, I'm not going.
Yeah. Well, that was the issue with San Diego, because it was San Diego for the Western Championship, and it was Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, and all the flights were insane, and the hotels were insane.
Yeah, you would have been better to drive for that. Anyways, yeah, to me, it would be nice if they just said we're doing a playoff, everyone's in it, and you know what? It's running. We're doing a playoffs. The MLS Cup is now. The MLS Cup playoffs are now. We're not doing it at the end of the year like all the other North American sports. We're just doing it through the whole year, and they're going to be twice a month on these weekends or these days, whatever. I would be fine if they made them weekend games and moved league games to midweek to accommodate it, and then you could have like proper times for fans to travel and get to the games and make them more and more meaningful. Like if you're going to go out of the box, if you're going to do something different, why not do something that's closer to football tradition, but also maybe actually maximizes, I can't I'm using this like maximizes the fan experience, maximizes the ability for your fans to like get to these games and enjoy them, and therefore hopefully make it more meaningful in the long run. I think, and that was part of what I said in the article about this last the unfortunate loss to Houston for the Whitecaps is you can tell at the Whitecaps they're working really hard to work with their fans to make it as meaningful as possible for them, to get them there as well as possible. You reported, you talked about how the Whitecaps ended up, I think, giving tickets or I think they refunded tickets to people who bought for Seattle, like the couple of buses that went down to Seattle, right?
Yeah, they if you remember the supporters groups, especially the Southsiders, it was free tickets.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that should always happen or like whatever.
No, but it's lovely.
But it helps build what will help this sport in the long run.
Yeah,
like
because having away fans there is another little boost for the players.
Yeah, and it's also another thing that differentiates you in the sporting landscape. Like there's so many pros. There's so many pros to the long-term engaging with your fans and making it more and more meaningful for them. And to their credit, the Whitecaps have done that. Like hasn't been an easy road, but I think they're in a better place than they've ever been in that respect, and they see the benefits. That doesn't mean that there aren't disagreements or bumps along the way, but I think it's one of the things that they've done well. And I think the league, like we said, like even when you look at some of these stadiums, the league needs to work at that because most of these groups aren't growing. Most of them are shrinking. I mean, you and I were sitting in Seattle. And we're like, I've never seen so many empty seats in the ECS.
Yeah.
Right? Not that the ECS support isn't good and they're still singing, they're still nonstop, they have lots of flags, they're doing TIFO, it's structured and whatever, it's clear how to follow along and whatever. And that's not it's not without going into the conversation of if that's your cup of tea or not. But like it's still clear, it's still passionate, they're still there supporting their club. But there's not as many as there used to be.
No. And it's like that in itself's a wake-up call for the club. You can't take that support for granted.
No. And even in Portland, like the thing is not always full to the very top anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's still there. It's still passionate. Again, there's
folks still line up for hours to get in.
But it's not quite what it was.
No.
And they should be concerned about it. And those two communities should be like massive warning signs.
But also,
league.
What's happening on the pitch factors into a lot of this.
Totally.
Well.
Yes. Totally.
Just to go back, just something you said there just popped into my head. Just going back to the Dundee Derby again. So when we're talking about Seattle, and I was singing Seattle away, ole ole.
Yeah.
So Dundee went to play at Dundee United, and then they won the game. So the Dundee fans were singing Dundee away, ole ole.
Which, if people don't know, those are the two closest football grounds in the whole world, right?
Yes. Although Dundee are exploring building a new stadium.
Far away?
Yeah.
No, it's too bad.
Well, further away. But still going to be closest. But yeah, it will not be as close. But yeah, it's crazy that those two stadiums I know very well. Now, I'm just hoping that all this stuff with the fact that multiple sources have confirmed it to The Guardian and The Athletic wrote about it as well, it seems pretty set in stone. I just hope this is not the direction that the league is going to be heading in under the new commissioner, Larry Berg, because it just feels like you're just trying to... You want to get new fans, but you also don't want to then drive away existing fans that are like, this is farcical. You could be in a situation that you're watching an MLS Cup being played between two teams that have already both lost a single leg playoff game.
Mm. Yeah.
And that is just nuts. So we'll see what comes out of that. We've got more chat to come. We're going to be talking Whitecaps and bring you a couple of interviews in the next part with a couple of new Whitecaps. And we'll be back with all of that after the first of two cover versions this episode from our Artists of the Month for August Manchester Legends, The Fall.
Hi, I'm Kwasi Poku, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who'd made the grades. I know the news was rather sad. Well, I just had to laugh. I saw the photograph. He blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before. Nobody was really sure if he was from a house alone. I saw a film today, oh boy. The English army had just won the war. A crowd of people turned away, but I just had to love having read the book. I'd love to take you on. Woke up, got out of bed, dragged the comb across my head. Found my way downstairs and drank a cup. And looking up, I noticed I was late. Found my coat and grabbed my stash. I made the bus seconds flat. I found my way upstairs and had a smoke. And nobody spoke cause I went into a dream.
Welcome back to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio 101.9 FM. And kicking off this part, it's the first of our two songs this episode from our Artist of the Month for August, Manchester Legends, The Fall. And we're playing cover versions from the band this month. And the one you heard to kick off this part was a cover of one of my favourite Beatles songs of all time, A Day in the Life. I've always loved this song from the first moment I heard it, really. The different changes of tempo, the lyrics, everything about it is fantastic. The original song was released on May 26th, 1967 in the UK, and it's the final track on the band's iconic studio album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Now, in 1988, the NME released a tribute to the Beatles classic in honour of the 21st anniversary of the album. Their version was called Sgt. Pepper Knew My Father, and all 13 tracks were covered by bands of the time, and it includes a superb version of Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite by friend of the show, Frank Sidebottom. Also, Billy Bragg doing a superb version of She's Leaving Home. And then you had The Fall covering A Day in the Life. That is what kicked off this part, and we'll be back with another song from The Fall, another great cover version to kick off part 4. But we're going to get back talking football now and turn our attention back to the Whitecaps. And if you were listening to the extra podcast that we brought out on Friday, you'll have heard me ranting on about the fact that as of now, the Whitecaps have made 3 official summer signings and one that we know to be done but just hasn't officially been announced yet, that being Emerick Fotzing from Vancouver FC. Of the 4 players, none of them is a warm body yet to be able to be on the pitch and actually make differences in the games. Fortsing, although not officially signed anyway, is injured just now, and he will rehab with the club before seeing out the season back in the CPL with VFC. Serbian midfielder Aleksa Svetkovic is still getting his visa sorted out, so hopefully that will be getting done sooner rather than later. But it's two other signings that I want to focus on in this part. Got a chance to chat with both of them this week, so we'll bring you those interviews just now. First up is Canadian forward Kwasi Poku. Poku's addition was announced by the club on July 30th after 2 years playing over in Belgium in the second tier with our WDM in Brussels, Molenbeek, as they were more commonly known. And it was a bit of a tumultuous time off the pitch for Molenbeek during Poku's time there. And it also wasn't necessarily the smoothest time for Kwasi over in Belgium after picking up an injury at the start of 2025 that curtailed his 2024-25 season with the club, his first over in Belgium. Overall, for the Belgian side, he made 31 appearances, scoring 6 goals, and he headed over to Belgium after really starring with Forge FC in the CPL. He had 12 goal contributions across 22 appearances in the 2024 season before leaving in August. Despite not playing the full season, that was enough to see him win Under-21 CPL Player of the Year. He won a couple of CPL League titles with Forge as well. And he's another Brampton native that came through the TFC Academy. Didn't make the breakthrough though with TFC. And of course, that is a story of old for Toronto and Montreal. Their academy players not quite making the grade with them, going to play elsewhere, and then starting to really come on to their game. Do they let them go too soon? It's certainly a question that if I was a TFC fan or a Montreal fan, I would be asking my ownership right now. So before he made the move to Europe, Poku had 3 seasons in the CPL with Forge. He's represented Canada at U20 level and also has earned 1 senior cap with the national team. And he's been brought in this summer as backup for Brian White in the striking department. And then, of course, White went out injured with a hamstring injury. An ideal opportunity for Poku to come in during the Leagues Cup campaign, start of the return to MLS as well, and just show what he could mean to the team. But unfortunately for Kwasi, he has a hamstring injury right now. He has been back training. He's on the pitch, but he's felt something's not 100% with it just yet. So he doesn't want to rush himself back too soon. The club don't want to rush him back too soon. Just felt something wasn't right. And that's the sensible thing to do because we've still got a long season to go. We don't want to rush him back. He breaks down and then he's out for a longer spell. But I think the spell with Brian White being out of the team really showed how important it was to have a backup replacement. I mentioned on the extra podcast, for me, I would have liked to have seen an older forward coming in, a kind of Daniel Rios, Damir Krylak style character that we had for the last couple of seasons. Maybe just one that is a bit more productive in front of goal. But a lot of the weight was then put on the shoulders of Ryan Illumi, still 18, not hitting his best form right now and really feeling the pressure. But it maybe looked like he's kind of started to turn things around, so that's good. Poku hopefully will be on the pitch soon, and thankfully we've got Brian White back in the first team, back scoring goals as well. So fingers crossed that we can have a fully functioning and fully healthy 3-man attack in the strikers department for getting into the business end of the season. But headed along to training on Friday to get a chance to catch up with Kwasi for the first time, just to chat about his move to Vancouver and his career so far. So go stick the kettle on, grab your biscuit of choice, and enjoy our first chat with the Poku Man. Kwasi, first thing to say to you, welcome to Vancouver. Nice to see you on the pitch. How are you enjoying life on this side of Canada?
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. Obviously, it's a bit different, but it's Canada. It's different from Belgium, so I'm settling quickly. Different
from out east as well. I mean, you're another Brampton boy. We've spoken to so many over the years. What is it? No one can put a finger on it. What is it about Brampton?
I don't know, maybe there's something in the water.
Yeah.
Seems to be a soccer factory, but I'm proud to be amongst the great players.
So, coming to Vancouver now, obviously your time over in Belgium was mixed. You had the injury, the club had its troubles off the pitch. How did this move come about? Axel mentioned that they'd been interested in you before you went to Belgium. Yeah. Did you know that, and when did they show interest this time around?
Yeah, I was aware of the interest before Belgium. I think at that age you fancy a move to Europe, but I think right now was the right time to move to the Whitecaps with everything that happened to me with the injury and the situation at the club. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that they were still interested and are taking a chance on me.
Now you're a very interesting forward in that we've got players in the past, like Tristan Blackman. He was a forward. He was turned into a defender. When we first saw you in the CPL, you were playing left back. Then you transitioned to forward because of injuries. How did you find that transition, and what made you then feel, hey, this is the position for me now?
Yeah, the real transition was becoming a left back because I had never played defence in my life.
Oh, really? So you had been a forward before?
I've been a forward my whole life, throughout the academy, throughout playing regionals, throughout playing everywhere. I've always have been a forward. But when I moved to Forge, I played the left flank and left back, kind of just to fill in, to get minutes. And then the situation with all the injuries was rather smooth for me because I got an opportunity to play where I've always known to play, and I thought of myself as always more of an attacker. So it was a very smooth, easy transition, and it worked out.
Yeah, and you grabbed that opportunity with both hands. The CPL, it's such a good league to have. We've had so many players here that's come out of academies, come out of college, and they've had nowhere to play for years. CPL's come in. How important was that for your development as a player?
Yeah, it was great for me. It was an avenue to go directly pro. Obviously, I think before the CPL, there was kind of no choice but to maybe go D1 and maybe go that route. But I thought I would, try it out and see. New league, fresh faces. Just an exciting time for Canadian soccer in general, and it's something I wanted to be a part of, and I'm happy I was a part of it.
And you were at a great club as well. I've got to know Bobby a little bit over the years, spoke to him a few times. What is it that's so special about that team, what Bobby brings to that team?
Yeah, I think he brings a clear idea. I think when everybody goes to Forge, it's similar to that of Manchester City, where you kind of have your madman at the top who kind of pulls strings and tells you what to do, and you get to, at the same time, be free, but have an idea of what you want to do on the field before you even do it, and he creates an atmosphere that's very intense and professional. So I'm very grateful to have him as a coach, my first real professional coach, and he kind of gave me a very professional mindset, professional outlook, and told me to take nothing for granted, and I haven't. So yeah, thankful for Bobby. He's a great coach.
You did so well there. You were named the Young Player of the Year the year that you left. That season, there was always rumours of European interest. I know you'd been over in Sweden on trial. What was it about Belgium and going to that league that won you over in the end?
Yeah, I think the project that the coaches gave me over there really intrigued me. Obviously, we weren't aware of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't tell the future, but it was a very intriguing project. I liked the coach a lot. And he had coached Benny Badibanga and Nana Opoku, which were players I was playing with in Forge. They told me great things about the team, the city, and the coach. So, yeah.
I mean, Brussels, it's a beautiful city. How did you find that whole experience? First time being away from Canada playing football?
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. First time really, really living alone, like far from parents, can't really go back home. Yeah, no, it was a really nice experience. I was right in the center of the city, made a lot of great friends. I really enjoyed my time there and my teammates. So, yeah, no, great city, great people.
I was the second tier of Belgium. How did it compare to you, to the CPL? Was it a definite step up in class?
Yeah, I think it was a step up in class for sure. But in Europe, sometimes there's weird leagues where some teams are really good and some teams are really bad. So it was kind of that disparity within the league, which was interesting. I don't think all teams were on the same level, but some teams were definitely, I'd say, higher than CPL level, and some teams were definitely below.
The hip injury that you had obviously ruled you out towards the end of the 24-25 season. It was the first serious injury that you'd had as a player. How was that time for you, especially being far away from home?
Yeah, it was a very difficult period. I've always thought of myself as a player who was just going to be clear of injuries, and I never really had a big injury in my career. So I think the first injury is always the difficult one, but then I think it kind of brings you down to reality. You get to put things into perspective and know that this game is not forever, and you get a sense of gratefulness, I guess. So I think it really improved my mentality, my resilience, and my outlook in general. And yeah.
We've touched on the off-the-field problems at Molenbeek. There's going to be folk listening to this that don't know what they are, but for those listeners, in short, the club had a points deduction, they had a transfer ban, they lost their pro licence. As a player going through that, I mean, what was that like for you?
I think it's just a situation you want to get out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much comments I can make on what was going on because we weren't aware of everything that was going on, but it's just a situation you want to get out of, and I'm happy to be out. So
yeah, Toss Ricketts has talked to us about stuff that he's gone through in Europe. The grass isn't always as greener, and it obviously depends on the clubs. But you're back here now. What about the Whitecaps makes you feel that this is the ideal fit for your kind of game?
Well, they're the first place team in the league. So.
That helps.
Maybe.
You're used to first.
Yeah, I'm used to joining winning teams and teams challenging for something. So I love the competitive spirit here. But at the same time, this team seems like a family. Everybody's been very welcoming, from the coaching staff to the players to anybody working here. So I'm really enjoying myself so far, and I can't wait to get on the field and contribute.
Obviously, the team is battling just now. They're needing help at striker depth. Has it been, with the injury you've had, has it been frustrating that you've not been able to be a part of it right away?
Yeah, I think this would be a perfect time to come in.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? Like I said, I've dealt with bigger injuries before, so I kind of have that patience and resilience and know when, my time will come when my time will come.
Last thing, for folk that haven't seen you play, what can Whitecaps fans expect from you?
I think a fast player, a very good finisher, someone who doesn't give up, someone who's always positive, and someone who has a real eye for goal.
Thank you so much for your time today. Can't wait to see you in the pitch, and I'm glad that you're here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Kwasi Poku there. Fantastic to catch up with him. He's very excited to be here in Vancouver. And Axel Schuster had mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we spoke to him before the return to the first game at BC Place post-World Cup break, that Poku was a player that they had kind of coveted for quite a while, and they had looked to try and bring him here in 2024. But as Kwasi said there, the lure of Europe as well coming in was going to be too much for a young player. So many of the young players want to go and test themselves over there. Also, I think Molenbeek came in with an offer for him that Forge just couldn't really turn down in terms of transfer fee wise. Probably one as well that the Whitecaps weren't prepared to match. So he's had that experience, he's had that taste, and now he wants to build on that. So looking forward to seeing him in a Whitecaps jersey. Hopefully it will be sooner rather than later. And it will certainly be a much less tumultuous time off the pitch for him. I know we're still going through the whole ownership and the stadium stuff here, but at least we haven't lost our pro licence and had points deductions for going into administration. So that's always the dangers you've got in the lower leagues of Europe. Great catching up with Poku there. Very confident young player, as you heard. Used to being with teams at the top of the table as well. So that's another plus for him coming to the Whitecaps. So we found out a lot about him there. But of course, as a new player to the Whitecaps, there's still one more thing we have to find out about him. Does Kwasi Poku fancy a chocolate digestive?
Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive, even though it's unsuggested? Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive?
And we do this with all the new players, the ones that speak English. We say you're not a Whitecaps player until you've done this section on our show. So you're at home, it's morning, early mid-afternoon. You want to have a hot drink. Do you go for a tea, a coffee, something else?
I would say I prefer tea to coffee. Coffee's not really my thing. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, so I would definitely prefer tea.
What kind of tea is your tea of choice?
Chai. Chai is a good one, but I think overall I prefer hot chocolate. You know.
Well, I was going to ask if you have a sweet tooth. You clearly do. Like, do you like to have a sweet treat with your drinks?
Yeah, here and there. I'll have one.
What would that choice be? No one's going to judge you.
Maybe a Lindor.
Oh, very good choice.
Some Belgian chocolate. Good stuff. I learned a lot over there.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure you did.
Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive? Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive? Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive, even though it's unsuggested? Anyone fancy a chocolate digestive?
So no chocolate digestive there for Kwasi, but a hot chocolate and some nice Lindor chocolate as well, or some Belgium chocolate. A man of impeccable chocolate taste, I think we have to say. So, as mentioned, looking forward to seeing Kwasi on the pitch sooner rather than later. And let's not rush him back. At the same time, let's hope it's not going to be another situation like Pupa last season, where Jodrick came with a hamstring injury. It proved to be worse than they thought, and it was week upon week after week before he was actually able to see some time on the pitch. Hopefully that is not the case for Kwasi. I'm crossing my fingers here as I say that. But yeah, another one of the new additions to the team that hasn't been able to actually come in and make an impact. That was one of my gripes, one of my rants on the Extra podcast. We've signed these players at a time when we've needed help on the pitch, needed warm bodies on the pitch, and none of them have been able to go. So that's a little bit disappointing. And I know the Gazdag deal fell through. The player was keen to come here. Columbus pulled out of the deal late in the day. But you would have hoped that with Axel saying that they knew Sebastian Berhalter was moving on, or they suspected he would be, that they had their ducks in a row for replacing him. But we haven't seen that on the pitch. And Seb has been away now for a month, and we needed to have somebody in. Mentioned in the Extra show, we would have liked an experienced MLS player that could just come in right away, make a difference, be a starter, come off the bench, whatever, but is ready to go. No visa issues, no injury issues. We still might make an addition in that regard because the transfer window is still open. But just this past week, the latest Whitecaps addition was announced. 20-year-old Colombian American, he was born in Miami, centre-back and defensive midfielder Sebastian Ramirez, coming to the Whitecaps on loan from Fortaleza, the Brazilian side, a side incidentally that fellow Colombian Herrera Campo spent some time with. So that initial loan deal will take him to the end of this season and then next year's sprint season as well. Axel described Ramirez as a young, defensively minded player who has emerged as a key contributor for Fortaleza. He brings a strong balance of aggression and awareness to defensive situations, while also offering versatility across multiple positions. He can play as a DM, he can also play as a fullback as well. He's excited for Sebastian to join the group. I am as well, and so is Sebastian Ramirez. Got a chance to speak to Sebas, as he likes to be called, at training on Friday. Now, some of you might have seen this already because the Caps videoed it and it was up on their socials, but I want to bring it to you in this anyway. It's mainly questions from myself, a couple towards the end as well from Sarita, but here's our first chance to catch up with the newest Whitecap, Sebastian Ramirez. So, Sebastian, welcome to Vancouver. What have you made of your first few days in the city and at the club?
Okay, hi Michael, nice to meet you. I'm very happy. I think it's a great city, a lot of nature around, and I'm in love with it. So I think it's a great city, great people, so very happy.
How did this move come about? Like, when did you know the Whitecaps were interested in bringing you here?
Well, it was a little rush for having me here. So I didn't expect it. Well, I expected. I always dreamed with coming to the MLS, but I think it was a little surprise. So they just told me like, come and play, and I'm happy for it.
Have you seen a lot of MLS last year? Have you seen the Whitecaps? What have you made of them, if you have?
Yeah, I've seen some matches of the Whitecaps. I think they have similar things with the team I play. They like the ball, they like to play, press high. So I think we are very similar in that point.
There's a Colombian here already in Edier, a bit local, but do you know Edier? I know he was at Fortaleza before you were there, but have you met him before?
Yeah, we played together. We trained together. We didn't play, but we trained together in the first team. I was young. I was a U15. He was in the first team. But yeah, we met. We went kayaking here in Vancouver. So nice. Yeah.
For people that haven't seen you before, what kind of player are you? I know you can play midfield, but you've been playing centre back. What can fans expect from you on the pitch?
I can say it in Spanish. Bueno, creo que soy un jugador muy versátil, que puede jugar en diferentes posiciones. Tengo muy buena salida de balón, juego aéreo fuerte, me gusta filtrar por dentro. Entonces, nada, que esperen buen juego y sí, y competitividad.
Yeah, I think I'm a versatile player. I can play in a lot of different positions. From the back, I have a good eye for a pass, good aerial play, and also the ability to push forward and try to get the team upfield. And yeah, for the fans, they can expect some good play and a lot of competitiveness.
How excited are you about this opportunity? What are you excited about the most?
I'm very excited because, as I told you before, it's a very similar team that likes to play. So I'm very excited to play here in the MLS, a great league. So that's what makes me more excited.
I only have one question for you. Your English is really good, but a lot of people always say that you're funnier in your own language, just more comfortable in that. What type of person are you off the field? What do you like to do for fun?
Okay.
In Spanish.
Yeah, in Spanish.
You can express yourself a little bit better that way.
Yeah. Bueno, soy una persona muy alegre. Pues cuando tengo confianza recocho mucho. Pero tengo también seriedad cuando tengo que trabajar. Entonces, bueno, cuando estoy fuera de la cancha soy muy alegre, me gusta compartir tiempo con mi familia y me rodeo de mi entorno cerrado.
Yeah, overall I'm a really happy person. I also uplift myself with confidence. The more confidence I have, the more fun I have. But when I'm working, I keep it serious. I'm very professional inside the field. Outside the field, I like spending time with my family and my inner circle.
And what does your family think about you moving to Vancouver?
Well, they are very happy. They are excited to get to know Vancouver. So I think, yeah, more excited than me, I think.
Did you have to send some Ramirez jerseys already?
We're trying, but yeah, I think they will.
I'll just ask you one more. When, I know you were born in Miami, when did your family move to Bogota?
Okay, it was for work. They have to move to Bogota. So that's why I didn't live a lot there, just only for a few months. I was very young, so that's why.
Sebastian Ramirez there, on loan to the Caps through to the end of the sprint season. So June 2027. Looking forward to seeing what he can do on the pitch. And with Ralph Priso still kind of struggling a little bit with injuries, and we've seen him cramp up and go off in games. We saw him already re-aggravate his hamstring injury, and now going off in that game against Dallas on Saturday with an ankle injury, which we don't know how good, bad, or in between that injury is at this point. We need centre-back depth, and we've definitely got it there. He looks a very exciting talent. 20 years old, as mentioned, born in Miami, as we touched upon there. His family then moved to Bogota at a very early age. He's been capped at U20 level by Colombia. 4 appearances for him at that level. And you don't get those caps without being a top quality talent. You also don't go and play your football in Brazil either without being a good prospect. So this looks like another good scouting for the Whitecaps. He's come not injured, which is nice for a centre-back after the disasters last year. And they're just waiting for his international transfer certificate to get sorted out. That should be soon, so he should be available sooner rather than later. Now, we didn't do the chocolate digestive thing with Sebastian. We'll do that next time around. We did do a bumper that we'll hear to kick off the next part. But yeah, another addition. 4 so far, if you include the Fotzing one that's not been announced yet. I'd still like a little bit more, I think. I'm always greedy, always want a little bit more. But hopefully, if the Whitecaps can stay healthy now down the stretch, this is a good core of players. Nods to the future as well. What the addition of him will mean for the re-signing of Matias Laborda or Ranko Veselinovic is certainly a question that next time we catch up with Axel, I think is one of the things we have to address. Obviously, we'd love to see both those players re-signed and back. That would then give us 5 centre-backs, which good to have because we know all the injury woes that we've had in the last couple of years in that regard. But at the same time, it's getting them all playing time, keeping them all happy. Obviously, Matty can also play both full-back positions as well. So we'll see how all of that plays out. To me, it kind of does point that maybe one of those 2 will not be back next year. We'll have to see how that goes. But that is it for the Whitecaps chat. Not it for the football chat in the show, though. One more part to come. We're going to turn our attention to the wonderful world of FIFA in the final part of this episode. And we'll be back with that after the second of our cover versions from this month's Artist of the Month, The Fall.
Hi, I'm Sebastian Ramirez, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Mr. Pharmacist, can you help me out today in your usual lovely way? Oh, Mr. Pharmacist, I insist, can you give me some of the Pepsi, Mr. Pharmacist? Dear Pharmacist, won't you please give me some energy? To use your mind, you better stock me up for the winter time. Mr. Pharmacist, Mr. Pharmacist.
Welcome back to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio 101.9 FM. And kicking off this part is the second of our songs this episode from our Artist of the Month for August, Manchester Legends, The Fall. We've been playing a slew of their cover versions this month. And the song you heard there was Mr. Pharmacist, released on September 1st, 1986. So coming up for its 40th anniversary. The first and only single to be taken from the band's 9th studio album, Bend Sinister. It was released later on that month, 40 years ago. It was their 17th single, reaching number 75 in the UK charts. The album itself came 7th in NME's Albums of the Year for 1986. And Mr. Pharmacist is a cover of the song by a psychedelic 60s garage band from San Francisco called The Other Half. The original song was their debut single of the 5 they released, and we'll be back with 2 more cover versions from the fall in next week's episode. But we're going to get back talking football now, and we're going to turn our attention to the international stage and just some latest shenanigans in the world of FIFA. So this week, FIFA finally announced the sanctions and discipline that they were handing out to the Argentinian Football Association after their behaviour and actions at this year's World Cup. FIFA handing out fines amounting to $321,000 for Argentina breaching 4 articles from the organisation's behavioural and disciplinary code. Those 4 were for using a sports event for demonstrations of a non-sporting nature. So that was all the reference to the Falklands and Malvina Islands, as they call it, holding the flag at the end of that win over England in the semi-finals. Team misconduct, discrimination and racist abuse in light of discriminatory chants and gestures by its supporters, and order and security at matches. So those 4 breaches of FIFA's disciplinary code has also seen the association forced to play its next 2 home matches with a limited capacity of spectators. 50% though, I mean, it doesn't feel like that is a huge punishment. It's like close it altogether, as Mexico have faced over the years. The FIFA Disciplinary Committee also determined that 100,000 of that 321,000 has to be invested in a plan to combat discrimination. But somewhat farcically, the implementation of part of those sanctions, which is one of those 2 matches at 50%, and 100,000 of the $321,000 fine, is suspended with a probationary period to apply. They also handed out punishment to 4 players and a team official for Argentina's actions in the World Cup final. Leandro Paredes got a 10-match suspension and a fine of 90,000 American dollars. Nahuel Molina, 7-match suspension and also a fine of $90,000. Thiago Almada got a 1-match suspension and was fined $30,000. Pablo Martin Paez Gavira got a 1-match suspension and a $30,000 fine. And team official Roberto Ayala got a 3-match suspension and also a fine of $30,000. I mean, it's been a bit of a long time coming. I guess it is only a month, Zach. For you, do those punishments seem to fit the crime? Kind of suspending one of the 2 games to just make it 1 game seems kind of pointless and meaningless, really, as well as some of the money. I mean, I think it could even have been harsher than what they got.
Yeah, the whole 1-match suspension thing is, yeah. It just be fair, these are only for the national team, right? These games?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Paredes getting 10 is nice to see.
I mean, he deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the things that came out after that when he went home to Argentina and people were like, oh, no, he's the greatest. And it's just like, no, like this cannot be. There needs to be a line. Like I was talking to you a while ago. I wrote an article, after at the 2010 World Cup, the province had some different fans of different nations they invited them to write fan perspectives on stuff. And one of the ones I wrote, I think before the Germany-Argentina game in that tournament, or maybe after, was basically, look, like Argentina is one of the countries that is responsible for the growth or the accelerated growth of simulation in football. And there's a really easy way to stop that. It comes from IFAB, it comes from FIFA, it comes from these governing organizations. And if they really wanted to, they could say, no, the standards of our game are this. You might have a cultural understanding or a cultural perception of, simulation is clever and therefore it's a good thing and whatever. But no, we think this actually hurts the game and can lead the game. It can bring the game into disrepute, can lead the game down a dark path, and they could have done that. And I think most people would have not viewed it in an ethnocentric or even Eurocentric kind of way, and seen it as, no, for the good of the game, they're stamping this out, and they didn't. And I mean, I honestly, Michael, I was worried with not just with the whole Vargentina of it all, but I was worried that this was going to go unpunished because they've done it. It's happened so many times, or it's happened before where the punishments didn't really feel like they really fit what happened, right? And I know I harp on about this a lot, but they destroyed Germany's chances against Italy in that semifinal in 2006 by having Frings suspended for retaliating to basically being attacked. And I think, I can't remember the actual suspension, but I think the suspensions were almost like the same for the attacker and the response to being attacked. And to me, that's not right. And so anyways, I'll probably go on about that, for many, many years, but he will. But at least the punishment on the surface, for the most part, seems like it's meant to crack down on this, and it's the world's governing body saying this is not acceptable, this cannot happen going forward, and provides hopefully some precedents that will hopefully be preventative or a deterrent. I mean, the other example we talked about a bunch, and I can't even remember what even came of this, but the whole semifinal of the Copa America with Uruguay and Colombia, I think it was.
Yeah.
And going in the fans to fight fans, that can't happen. And did anything ever happen to Nunez about that? I don't think anything happened. They're like, hey, he was defending his family's honor. He's fine. But there has to be a standard. And I know we live in a world where absolutes are not valued and where truth is ultra relative. But there has to be some no, this is not acceptable.
You just want to see consistency with everything as well.
Totally.
It's like with the Mexican fans and the Puto Chan, and it's like you're meant to get the warnings and all this. So you watch the League's Cup games and they're chatting it constantly.
Yeah.
During the under-20 championships, they were doing it constantly. And it's like, it was just let go. Nothing happened with it. And they know there's the warnings, and even after they get the 2 warnings or whatever, and the players come off the pitch, and it's like next time the game's abandoned, it doesn't get abandoned.
Okay, but to be fair, that's something, again, that they could do even more about, right? If you just, because the problem with how they've chosen to handle that specifically is it has weaponized it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's ways that the Mexican fans have literally weaponized that to their team's doing bad. Let's give our team a break. Our team looks gassed. Let's give them a break. We know how to we'll give them a 5-minute break. We know how to do it. We'll do it. No problem. FIFA needs to, if they're really against this, if they really think this should not take place in football, again, same thing with simulation. They could very easily get rid of it. They just have to have the will. They have to have the courage. They have to have, I know some might call it the backbone to say, okay, if this happens again, no fans in the stadium. If this happens again, you're docked points. If this happens again, you're excluded from competitions. And I can't guarantee you, but it's very, very likely if they took those types of measures, this would stop, right? Because I think ultimately, and again, then you might have to deal with okay, well, are some fans dressing up as Mexican fans in order to, eliminate, Mexico or whatever? That's a different part of the conversation. But if they knew, hey, we're not going to be allowed to play in the next World Cup if we do this, I don't think you would see this happen.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, you're right. Consistency is a big part of it. And when it comes to anything that's regulatory, you need that, and that's one of the biggest things we are on about when it comes to officiating in matches, right? If a referee, sometimes you and I will say to each other, well, at least he was bad for both teams. Like he was equally awful for both teams. He didn't call this type of foul for both teams. At least it was fair. Both teams are playing on the same bad surface. Okay, but they both have to deal with it at least. You know what I mean? That's when it comes to this stuff. It's not rocket science, and things need to be done. And hopefully what's happened here in this situation is a step in the right direction.
Now, of course, the other big FIFA news that has dominated the news cycle since the World Cup finished is hopefully us all witnessing the downfall of Gianni Infantino, although it doesn't feel like he is going to step down anytime soon. But it's been another interesting period. I mean, we haven't spoken about this for a couple of weeks. The whole battle between UEFA and FIFA really seems to have ramped up this week, as has what looks to be the battle now between Gianni Infantino and his right-hand man, big Victor Montaliani. So the news came out this past week. I first saw it in The Guardian, and a few other places reported it as well, about plans for a new-look Nations League tournament that was going to involve both UEFA and CONCACAF. So instead of them both having their own separate Nations League, it was going to be it is a proposed biennial competition aimed to feature all 96 member associations from both confederations, potentially launching as early as the autumn of 2028. There's even talk that the Asian Confederation could get involved either at the start or somewhere down the line, because the Asian Confederation have been talking about launching their own Nations League now for a little while. Most of the other confederations have it. And it was interesting because if you're looking at UEFA, CONCACAF and the AFC, that is three confederations that on the whole are against Infantino, and we'll come to why I say on the whole in a little bit, and alongside New Zealand, if not all of Oceania, that still TBC, but New Zealand's definitely come out strongly against Infantino. Now, this new combined UEFA CONCACAF Nations League tournament would continue the same kind of format that the UEFA Nations League currently has, which is a tiered multi-league format, followed by a knockout phase and then a Final Four tournament to determine the champions and like Tier A, Tier B, Tier C, TD. I imagine it would have to get maybe expanded to maybe Tiers E and F to include the smaller ranked nations. League A would feature the top teams in Europe. So right now you're looking at the likes of Spain, France, England, Germany, and some others in there as well. And they would be playing competitive league fixtures against the highest ranked nation teams in Europe, but also in CONCACAF, which would be Mexico, the US, and Canada. Now, naturally, travel implications will kind of play into this, and I think it would be tough to appease some of the top European clubs if you've got their players flying to the other side of the world on a regular basis. So I don't expect us to see games, at least immediately, here in Vancouver, sadly, in this tournament. But under the draft plans for the tournament, the league phase would be played during the existing September, October and November international windows, followed by knockout matches in March and the finals in June. Now, because those are currently FIFA windows, what no one really knows at this point is, would FIFA need to ratify any such a tournament? And if they did need to ratify it, would they ratify it, or would they be against confederations getting together in a tournament such as this? Serious discussions have apparently only begun just a few weeks ago, and the number of teams in each league still to be determined. But all 96 members of UEFA and CONCACAF would be involved, And that would provide much of the revenue that is needed. When you pull it together, it would generate significant additional income for the smaller nations. Game-changing money, really, for the smaller nations. I love the idea, and it's much more appealing to me than the current CONCACAF Nations League that doesn't really enthuse me at all. But I also, it's what we talked about coming out of the World Cup. It's the much needed, better regular testing ground for Canadian soccer, so that you've got these games against the top nations in the world to prepare you for World Cups.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Nations League, because I think from a Canada perspective, or even a CONCACAF perspective, I think the Nations League did really help get rid of useless friendly windows, or windows that were not super helpful, or you were never going to be able to get a game against quality teams. I think having competitions where there's a trophy, I think, is always a step in the right direction. That's not just from a CONCACAF perspective. That's, I think, worldwide. I think this has helped. Now, my German friends, I don't think fully acknowledge the Nations League, but maybe that'll change one day if Germany actually cares enough to win it. I think these confederations potentially combining, or choosing to combine, to have a tournament of connected to the Nations Leagues, I think could be the next evolution of this, and make it more interesting. I think what you just said is bang on in terms of this would be great for Canada to be able to get games against teams that maybe are hard for them to get games against, but also will stretch them and grow them because of the quality, because of the playing styles, potentially even because of the environments they would be played in, because they're competitive, all these different things. It's intriguing. Is it the best thing for football? I don't know. I like it in terms of it being a protest, of it being like if this is used as a tool to displace Infantino, I think it's a very positive thing.
I mean, I kind of hope it's not just something that is used for that, and then he goes, and then this doesn't happen. But the other side of it is, well, actually, there's a lot in this. So, I mean, I touched on the travel aspect. You can't see the top European teams saying, yeah, let's have the players go and play in this window over in Vancouver or Seattle or whatever, and then come back to our clubs. So you've got those things. Would most of the games then get played in Europe? Toronto may get a couple with the short distance and everything. See, the sirens aren't happy. I don't know if you can hear that or not in the background.
They're coming for you.
They're like, Infantino, you mentioned Infantino. We're coming to take you away to the FIFA gulag.
Trust me, you don't want to end up there.
No. I mean, the whole thing with this would be interesting, of course, because Mexico have been eyeing up joining CONMEBOL, and there was the report that if they back Infantino, he'll help them join CONMEBOL. And Mexico and the powerhouses of CONCACAF of Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, so all four of those nations, they're now backing Infantino, breaking away from the CONCACAF block of not supporting him. So we
need to talk to Atiba. He's the head of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Atiba
Harris.
Oh, I was thinking Hutchison. I was like...
Oh, Atiba Harris is I think he's like the head of the confederation down there.
So what you're saying is we have to get Atiba on side.
I wonder if he'd be willing to talk.
That'd be interesting. He's obviously a traitor to the cause and is backing Infantino just now. But, I mean, I'd be quite happy to see the back of Mexico and their fans for all the things that we've just talked about. But one of the big questions in this is it would be played in the FIFA windows. So would FIFA need to ratify such a competition because it's multi-confederational? Would they ratify it, or would they see it as too much of a threat? Taking it even a stage further, is this the beginning of the end of FIFA as we know it, but FIFA will exist because Infantino has the votes to hang on? Could we end up in a situation like you see in things like boxing, where you've got multiple world organizations. Even the darts has it.
Well,
two different world organizations because of a fallout.
Technically, that already exists, right, Michael? There is this. Do you remember we've talked about this before on the show? There's because Cascadia, I think, is played in
this CANIFA, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the countries that's not in FIFA.
Yeah.
Or they're not recognized as countries.
Like the Basque and Catalonia.
Yeah. That's a different thing. This would be proper recognized footballing countries, but in two different federations.
Yeah.
And I know what one I would want to be in. If you've got UEFA, CONCACAF, Asia, and New Zealand in one, that's the one you want to watch a World Cup of, as opposed to Africa, CONMEBOL, some Asian countries. No interest to me whatsoever.
Yeah. This is why, and he won't, this is why, though, Infantino needs to read the writing on the wall, right? Like, he needs to say, for the good of football, I've torn the thing apart trying to make money for myself, for others, whatever. Allegedly, I should probably add.
Yeah, I mean, he is a subscriber to our podcast, so.
But
he likes my bald head. That's what he said.
I've torn football apart. I got caught doing it. Really, I need to step down for the good of the game. But
I'm gonna cut that and use that for when you resign from the podcast.
For the good of the game.
No, it's just that I've ruined football. But no, you're right. I'm making light of it, but not to take away from what you said there, because you're right. The writing should be on the wall from him, but it's not, because he knows he's got the votes now. He's got all these small countries that are going to back him and see him over the line, with CONMEBOL and Mexico and the likes of that. And in Asia, you've got Qatar breaking away and they'll back him in there. You've got Oceania countries that will back him because he's like going to offer them more money and like real life-changing money to the sport there. So he knows, or he's banking, he thinks he knows that he's got enough votes to get him over the line.
I know it's not $20 or $40 million each, but that's one of the things that I like about what CONCACAF and UEFA, and I think the Asian Confederation are saying is that, or AFC are saying is that, look, FIFA's sitting on $5 billion. Obviously, you need some operational funds, but surely a good leader would be able to earmark that to some of the needs that the smaller confederations have. Right? Like, so it's not that they can actually hand out that money right away, like easily or quickly, but surely as a part of their proposal, that there has to be. I know it's not the same as what he's promising them, but surely that some of that money should be life-changing for some of these confederations anyway. So, like,
I mean, even a small amount of that is life or game-changing.
Because I used to
games in those countries.
One of the things I still have them. They're in my office, and I probably should get rid of them, but I haven't. I used to buy I don't know if you remember when FIFA used to put out a magazine, like a physical magazine. You go to Indigo or Chapters and pick it up. They had a FIFA magazine, and you could read, and I would read it cover to cover, and they would talk about all the money that they were giving to the federation. So, like, here's this project we're doing here, and you read and be like, we put in a all-weather pitch in this country that has no all-weather pitches, and they have torrential rain and blah blah blah, and like, we helped build the federation headquarters that got torn down by a tornado, and
they just set up the Oceanic League for like Fiji and Solomon Islands and all those to have professional teams for the first time playing.
They do tons of good stuff. I mean, the problem is, there are multiple problems, and some of them hopefully got dealt with in the last roundup of scandal, but not all of them have. Yeah, and that's where I worry about when you even whoever's handing it out. When you talk about some of this money, it's not going to end up in the game.
Yeah,
right?
But Infantino is working everyone just now. So he turned up this weekend in the Dominican Republic for a CONCACAF Under-14 tournament. Victor apparently had asked him not to come, and he still turned up and was trying to pitch to get more CONCACAF nations over to his side. because he knows he just needs these small countries to be swayed.
Mm.
And now we're seeing a real battle between Victor and Infantino. And Victor was seen as his right-hand man, really. And so many folk are now putting him forward as the man to challenge him, or will UEFA put somebody forward? But if you speak out against him, as we've already seen this week,
yeah,
you're out the door.
Yeah, I forget this title. Was it one of the VPs or CEOs or CFO?
Yeah, he was really high up. He said, with good conscience, I can't keep quiet.
Yeah, he said, this is a project of one. And he said, I recognize that this might cost me my job, but I can't do this. And he's like, if I do get fired, I will sleep well at night. And now he has been
fired.
Which I think it's not like they're trying to hide any of their militias. Like they're getting rid of their enemies and trying to give money to anyone who will support them. Like this is it's so frustratingly awkward. It's not even funny.
I'm sure I read this week as well, and I can't remember what country it was, but they were exploring the possibility of taking him to court to say that he can't run for another term.
Oh, he's had too many.
Yeah. So that's another way that they're looking at it as well.
I feel bad for Victor in this because Victor is literally someone, and I know there's some mixed feelings within the Canadian landscape about Victor, and we won't rehash all that. But I feel bad for Victor because as a servant of the game in this city and province and country, and now obviously Confederation, I feel like he's someone who set himself up long term to be able to step into that role.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel for the most part, I think he's done so many good things that I think he would be really, really great at it.
And it would be so refreshing to have a Canadian.
Yeah.
East Van boy like myself. He's a bit more East Van than me.
A little bit. But yeah, I think, I was really looking forward to the day that would happen. And now it feels like if he's forced into running against Infantino in this, where everything is all, murky because of all of this stuff, it feels like if he loses, is that his only chance, number one. And then number two, even if he does win, he's stepping into a moment where I guess he could do great things and it could be great, but he's also stepping into a very difficult moment where there are significant factions that will want, wildly divergent things to happen.
It's always self-interest in football, unfortunately, and I think it probably always will be. But yeah, we hadn't talked about FIFA stuff for a few weeks. I thought we would mention those. That's pretty much it now for the show. We will finish as always, though, with this episode's wavelength, the section of a show where we play a song all about football. And I mentioned it earlier, we were talking about Brentford and their big splash on a £41 million player. So I've had this song in my folder of songs that we haven't used yet, so I may as well dig it out now. From 1984, it's a song all about Brentford by a band called the Bees Band. And it's simply called Come On You Brentford.
There's only
the Bees Band. Come on, you Brentford. I mean, as somebody that hates Spurs, I was so happy to see them take Spurs apart on Saturday. Haven't watched a lot of the Prem highlights from this first weekend. I know you don't usually, but any final thoughts from you, Zach, before we go? Any shout-outs that you want to give?
Well, just real briefly, you mentioned earlier about the little CPL wrap-up. Vancouver FC has fallen on 3 games without a win, so a draw in the derby and then 2 away defeats, which have been really unfortunate. They now continue their road trip. They're headed to Calgary this weekend, playing on Saturday the 29th at 2 p.m. Pacific, I believe, kickoff. And it's their first time playing Cavs since they beat them, so it'll be really interesting if they can go. Maybe they could beat them for the first time in Calgary at Spruce Meadows. I wish I was going to the game, but I'm not because, like I said earlier, we're hoping to take in Luva down south. But yeah, hopefully the Eagles things go well for the Eagles in that road trip. It gets to the end of the episode, so this is where we make comments that then people maybe talk about and take out of context later. The Emmerich Fotzing deal has not been completed yet, or as of our recording of this. But it's my understanding after connecting with even further sources on the deal that I think everything's kind of been agreed, and it's just at a stage where things are with MLS, right? Because MLS as a league has to ratify everything and approve everything and all that kind of stuff. So it sounds like it could happen anytime this week, and Emmerich will he'll be out probably for another, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks before he can get back to playing, and hopefully that will be again on loan with the Eagles, and he'll finish up the season there and before donning a Whitecap kit in 2027. So we look forward to talking about that more in the future. We look forward to hopefully talking to Emmerich himself about that in the future. Really excited to see this young Canadian kid continues to develop and to continue to progress, and just hoping all the best for him. And that's the last thing I wanted to say. I just wanted to say, it's always good going to the football. One of the fun things about going to football is seeing people you haven't seen in a long time. So at the Houston game, I got to see Joe. I don't want to say his last name because I'm going to butcher it, but Joe R. If you saw him, you know him, Michael. And then this week I saw Nathan and Lisa, who I haven't seen in a long time. We were hopefully going to see each other at the World Cup, but they were at the Qatar match, but didn't get a chance to see them at the World Cup. So it was really great to see them. People are like, why do we don't know those people? And if you knew Joe and you knew Nathan and Lisa, you'd love to see them after not seeing them for a long time. But someone everyone does know is it was also really great to see Matt Watson. So Matt Watson is assistant coach for Dallas. So some people might have seen him around the stadium. It was good to catch up with him. I got to see him a couple times once after the match. Just ran across each other's paths at the stadium, and just really enjoying being able to, having finished his time as a professional footballer, now staying in the game as an assistant coach at Dallas, and it sounds like his family's really enjoying life down in Frisco and all that kind of stuff. And I also got to wish him well because he's an Arsenal fan, and so. So I asked him about how he enjoyed the returning to winning ways when it comes to the Premier League, and he said it was fun because he said the most exciting part was being able to experience it with his son, who's obviously followed in his footsteps and become a big fan, and is now in his, I think, mid to early teenage years. And anyways, it's really good to connect with Matt. Matt's just an awesome dude.
Always enjoyed chatting with him. He was a super nice guy.
Yeah.
For an English guy. If you want some live football action this week, Whitecaps 2 are at home on Wednesday night at Swangard, 6 o'clock kickoff. Heading along to that one, I think, and I'll get a couple of interviews for the next show. Men's college season kicks off in Canada West as well. UBC are at home to the Fraser Valley Cascades Thursday evening at Thunderbird Stadium, 6 o'clock kickoff. The game will be on Canada West TV. I'll have the commentary for that as I start my 10th year as the UBC commentator. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that is it for another show. We'll be back with another one soon. Who knows what the next week will bring in Whitecaps land, but hopefully another big win on Saturday in Kansas City. Until next time, as always, thanks for listening. Take care, and mon the Caps.
Going to your first match is an experience you never forget. The atmosphere of what's going on around the pitch looks beautiful, and you always look and go, wow, I'd love to play here one day. If you get the bug, it's going to stay with you for life.
10 minutes left, yeah, but there's still some time. It's not the final score. We need more than the numbers we're given. Show us you live and breathe the game. You're more than a name, that's what we came for. We can bring you more than the score. Every story, let's take this thing off of the field into the real world, away from the numbers, away from the numbers.
AFTN